time. We're going to be diving on into things here on Breeze. Fokus going to start out on the attack side, and I'm not really sure how to feel about this one. I gotta say, Fokus, they've been hit or miss, but I feel like they've been there for me more than OG London United have, right? That's been a bumpy road over on their side. Hello there.
Yeah, I think realistically, the thing is though, until a team actually wins a game, I find it very, very difficult to believe in them. Like OG London United last season had some decent results, and I think it's taken them some time to get back into a rhythm where they can fight versus some of the teams. And unfortunately, some of the teams they faced were very unforgiving. Fokus, they've got some solid players, but I don't know if they're going to be able to get it over the line. Morsey just blinded himself.
Not a good start. Oh, we want to see Hype, those picked up Yugi right through the wall. That's a headshot. A quick kill for a 4v2. Beautiful stuff. Well, let's see. OG London United gonna find it very tough to get back in here. Hype's one kill, the only thing that stands to them at the moment. And unless there's gonna be a very quick frag for good old Destrian, I think this one might be done. Well, actually, he's managing to close the distance on them, get up close. Oh God, what is that? 2 quick kills, Destrian's going, and now there's a serious chance. Hype was clear in the back lines, and now they've got the info in the final 2 at least. This 1v2 is, it's next to impossible. The time is just too low. You'd have to get lucky and pick one of these players off. They catch him on the way out. 3 kills for Illury and a fantastic start for Fokus.
Yeah, a pistol round onto the board, of course. The thing within this series, it's sort of difficult to sort of say where we lean most of these maps. I think going into Breeze, Fokus had a very close performance versus FPX on this map. Obviously, when they've got to Fracture, it didn't go great. On the other side, you have OG London United. This was the map that they lost to G2, and G2, I think it's fair to say, have been in the worst form we've maybe ever seen them, which sounds a bit harsh, but, well, they didn't even make it to playoffs, which for G2 as an organization and as a team is just not acceptable. So I genuinely do think that Fokus have a very good chance within this series. The intriguing thing will be is OG London United's win versus G2 actually something that can get us excited, or is it genuinely just the look of, okay, G2 just aren't very good?
A very slow approach by Fokus in this round, but more so over on the OG London United side. I'm surprised they pumped the brakes so heavily, but when you look at the weapons that they've got, obviously Feku holding a ranged angle and Halls, the others on B, we're really hoping that there'd be some sort of an exec out of Fokus that they could manipulate and use the likes of their shorty to take him down. Destrian swap back over to a classic though, and he's made the rotate for the A side take. Hype getting some good info here, spotting them out. And this might make Fokus pull the trigger on going into A, or, well, with 40 seconds left, to be honest, I'm not sure that there is an or. I think they have to just pull the trigger on A.
Yeah, slow games today. We've seen so many of these go incredibly wrong. The thing is for Fokus is it's just the investment into the rifles. They want to be playing these ranged fights. The thing is though, Feku is going to be able to find one. Spike is going to go down, while from here onwards, on the other side, you can't really afford to lose any more players. Like, Boo are just going to try and retrieve wherever that final rifle was, and then it's not too much of a loss.
Oh, nice shot for Hype. It's at least going to be a kill, but I think winning this round might already be out of the question. Yugi on 47 HP, at least a chance for some extra damage to come through. And that's all that's on Hype's mind now. Get some damage, get some kills, and if not, go down to the spike.
I think he was expecting someone to exit in his direction, but not going to be the case this time. And yeah, you're right, Hype goes down. Still, losing one of those rifles for Fokus is going to be a minor irritation, but I'll be curious to see what they invest alongside it. Like, do they now just go in with more rifles and then basically just play this not as a bonus round, but as more of an investment? Or do they then save some of the extra weaponry? And it does look like they're going to save a little bit with your boy Lewis just investing into a pistol. Still a much more dangerous round for OG London United than you'd normally expect, though. And I think a lot of teams are doing this more on Breeze, where it's not worth going for Spectres or shotguns because there's going to be so many just positions where they suck. and just paying that extra little bit more to make sure they have they had a weaponry. Yugi, though, they're already dead.
Yeah, nice frag by Feku. We saw this in the previous matchup, just that straight blitz down mid from a Jet. And look at this. Your boy Lewis comes back, though. It's just as hard. 58 HP left. Okay, that's a thin line between the two teams now. From a fantastic start, Fokus somehow managed to kind of recover this and end up in a position where they could again be coming ahead. 2 Vandals to work with. They're going to swing back out on mid, though. It's all about this fight, and Boo wins it easily. He's got the support for the secondary swing. With just 1 man left alive, Tom. I don't think this is going anywhere. Oh, okay. Well, maybe I was wrong. Boo has got other ideas.
Yeah, I think Hype was maybe hoping for a little bit more cover. Of course, just going to be waiting this one out. Has to be careful not to just be wallbanged, but almost trying to bait them. I like it. He's just repositioning, almost trying to fake out maybe that the spike is gone, but they're going to have vision on it. So now it's more so just where the man is actually repositioned to, and more Destrian will land the final shot. OG London United onto the board, but again, you have to bear in mind that there's very likely to be a strong investment going into the next one for Fokus.
In the start, though, you can't allow these rounds to slip away like that. I mean, just look at this, a double opening. Sure, Malsey goes down, but they certainly ended up back in a little bit of a dicey spot, but a fantastic recovery coming through. Now on that mid push, the re-aggression, keeping the control. Get the round on the board for OG London United. We'll see what more they can do. This defense is going to be pushing out. They're crunching on mid again. Same strat. Feku pushing right side. And there's no one here to meet him this time. Fokus have spread out. They've left mid completely open for the taking.
The drone might be able to find out at least a little bit of information. I don't think it's going to go far enough, no. I think that's one of those, like, old drone would have got that, but unfortunately new drone, a little bit sucky. They're going to see a lot of their utility removed. Your boy Lewis is taking a lot of damage through this. It gets absolutely nothing, but it's all of Ruse, Mitch, as they're going to go pushing straight back into the other side of the map. Well, the information will now be had, and that actually means the lurk left behind by Alluri has very little value now.
Yeah, it's not really got that surprise factor. Vong almost did so well. This late play coming back, Illary. They should be ready for it. They knew he was here, and you can see constantly 2 guns are on this angle. Now it's just Boo. Best time for that peek to come through. Illary's ankle spotted on the jump peek. And teammates under pressure, but Yugi steps it up and gets 3. An absolute shutdown. Illary falls, but it might be a little too late. Boo coming into a site, still controlled by attackers, and so few seconds left on that clock. No ammo in the clip. He goes to the classic. The 3rd round's found for Fokus. That is an attacking round secured, and they are certainly taking command of this early half. This here, a little bit too much found by Yugi. That spray, gorgeous.
Well, that's the thing. I feel like I think he's had some good games. I don't think we've definitely seen the best of Yugi yet. Just at least from what we've seen from him in the past in other esports titles as well. Like, his pop-off potential, I do genuinely think is only going to grow over time. So the fact that realistically we're starting to see a few of those moments is very exciting for this squad. And that's one of the things I think I've enjoyed more about Fokus than a lot of other teams, is that I think if they had a couple of pop-off rounds, they win a couple of games. But they're still very competitive, even without necessarily just those huge explosive plays from from individual players.
It's in their spawn. Inside their spawn. Becky's grabbed a kill. I've got the flank. I'm sure it was the call at one point, but now nobody does. Becky's come through with a second, taking down Vong, eliminating Viper utility. A huge kill for them to already have, and Malsey's come through with another. That split in through mid, in through their spawn, and well, here comes the Blade Storm for a little bit more, a 3rd kill. Becky was just owning this round. The Blade Storm way too powerful in this man's hand.
That's honestly one of the things that I think is still almost not undervalued, but ever since like Jet was sort of removed from a lot of people's comps for Chamber, sure, the Tour de Force is incredibly powerful, but I just love seeing these aggressive Jet rounds because there is a lot more risk behind them now. You either have to pop your dash very early or just basically continue going, like just fighting all the way through it. And that's exactly what Fokus did in this round, because it's like you can earn it back. It's just a little bit more difficult to have it initially. Nonetheless, OG London United, a huge boost to economy, and now, well, talking of pop-up rounds, now we need the same to come out from Yugi. There is, however, a Hunter's Fury, but it's on both sides, so definitely worth watching to see if that's going to be utilized by either squad, potentially as a counter.
And Blade Storm right away for Yugi. He's holding for this push, and Fokus. I've done it one time too many now, evidently. Yugi absolutely fragging out, but overwhelmed. The entirety of OG London United was defending, or rather pushing mid. And now, the consequence of that, Tom, is kind of no way for them to stop a plant on either side.
Oh, so close to getting a kill. Boo down low, and unfortunately, Molesy already being in the deck means there's not going to be a chance. Boo, though! That second shot! An elevated swipe up to take out Hype, and well, I feel like we're back to some of the initial stages of yesterday. These back and forth rounds going all the way through. No one really taking a commanding lead, and Boo, well, this has to be audacious as hell. And I can understand you want to try and catch them off guard by their planting, but unfortunately, not enough health to really do much.
Yeah, that was a little bit upsetting. If you're an OG London United fan, the mid-crunch 5 players, Tom, right away after Blade Storm pop, you've got Fokus just holding for it. And on the one hand, I'm going to say, well, you're not going to be like, oh, he's holding it with the Blade Storm, you know, like you're not going to have that expectation. But this mid push had come through time and time again. We have seen it, and we've seen the impact of it in a lot of rounds. For Fokus, can't be that much of a surprise that they eventually decide to have someone posted on it, and it just seems like an unnecessary push to me, Tom. 5 players, you give up A and B versus mostly pistols and a Blade Storm.
Camera taken out.
Luckily, with the win of the last round, they've been able to keep the finances strong for this one. Again, a patient start from Fokus, and you can't blame them at this stage. After the last round, you're almost expecting there to be a level of aggression being taken, but I guess the benefit of both sides sort of running that double initiator is that you don't actually need to be overly aggressive to find out roughly where your opponents are going to be. But with the dart quite far away, the cam not really available either, I feel like somebody on OG London United is going to start having to almost probe, have a little bit of a look around, otherwise they might be in for a nasty surprise.
Well, they're going to rely on this Cypher getting some impact on the way through. The utility already popped up, the cages. Trap destroyed. They're on the way through. Hype's going to have to go huge, but he's taken down. Fokus now under pressure. Players from absolutely every angle. Just about managed to trade. What a spray from Molesy. They might have this round still. Vong has to use the Viper's Pit. He's got a second to pick up that spike, but down to 21 HP. A great shock dart on the money. And that makes it so easy. On the way back through, 1 bullet needed to take Vong down. But he's in a pit. So they might suffer the same fate on the other side.
It's whether they can somehow manage to pinch from. He's playing on the edge because, well, basically someone would have to walk into his back to find this kill. They are starting to wrap around, and eventually Destrian is going to find him. Another round on the board for OG London United, and that one, well, there's only one man you can really thank for it, and that's Molesy. I think Fokus were in such a fantastic spot as they entered the site, managing to isolate Hype without too much trouble at all. And yeah, then just that multi-frag spray down it. And that's the thing, I feel like I don't think we've seen it anywhere near as much this season in terms of Molesy's performances. But he was the one, like, that was always the thing with OG London United is, I think that they don't necessarily have like an out-and-out superstar player, but last season it was him. Like, he had the aspects of a player that could look to peak either within this roster or be picked up by another. As said, I think that he's been a little quieter this season, but you can still see that it's there.
Oh, big miss by Fokus. He's under so much pressure. Mulsey's gone down.
Oh, no.
He's still trying to stay alive. Down to a classic. A right-click connect. But that's all he'll get. The disappointment to lose him so early on. They do well to try and keep trading it out. Damage done to Yugi. But he's got that off angle. He's tucked in, waiting for the push through to sight. Player spotted now. Hype on the cross will be caught. It's a trade. That's all they needed, leaving Desterine in a 1v2 that's easily closed. Gorgeous round from Fokus.
Yeah, just a pace change. Something that after the last game we watched, never been happier in my entire life. Honestly, that might have made my day. I wasn't sure if we were going to see a quick round for the entirety of the day, but yeah, I think it's just, especially after how slow and defaulty Fokus have been playing, waiting for this aggression, they just completely changed the pace, and because of that, as you sort of noted, Vecu is just completely out in the open. Like, he just has to go for a miracle play. Still gets a kill, but now they're back to pistols once again. Still, we've had a very back and forth nature of this game so far, so I'm not going to count them out by any stretch, especially with a Viper's Pit and with an opener that will grant them a free gun straight away.
Vecu just isn't deterred, and even when he is one of the few rifles that they've got to work with, this guy happy to take this aggression, whether it's running down mid or facing straight up like that through B main.
I guess it's the Blade Storm being close. Like, even if he died, he would have been one away. You can maybe fight for an orb, hope for a kill. Like, there's aspects to it. I love that they're predicting, like, such off angles. That's the second time that Hype has tried to play elevated on shore, and both times he's been instantly predicted by someone on Fokus. That's not an angle that most people are playing.
I think it's a... Oh. Where's your boy Lewis just gone down? That was an aggression through halls. Yeah, they've managed to catch that. Wall down, though. Fokus moving out onto the B site. Vong 25 health. The Yugi's going to have to do a lot of this. It's
the classic where you have the door closed and they're just almost waiting on the door. They don't even get anywhere near the B site. So because of the door, because of the shutter, no one actually knows where they are. Like, obviously they know they're towards B, but I think that was a given.
Yeah, I think it would have been nice to have them go a little bit closer. But even still, good prediction of where he'd be. Still, the shots connected. Nasty. Nasty.
Not so good on the prediction of where Vecu would be.
Not quite.
Both exposed to the same angle. But yeah, in these sort of anti-eco rounds that are coming through from Oglu, Vecu has been fantastic. It's quite entertaining, I would say, from both Jets. The high impact they've had has been in rounds where you shouldn't be winning, which is frustrating as a commentator, because in a dream world, the team with the better economy wins because they should. But in this game, that's been anything but the case.
It keeps it interesting, though. Some of these battles, like that aggression down through halls, your boy Lewis getting caught. It's a weapon upgrade. It's the ability then to fight right back through. And ultimately, it comes down to a bunch of kills like that Fokus just shouldn't be losing in that round. Now, the off battle, and it's Vecu again.
Did he leg him? That didn't look like it was at leg height.
It did not.
Or did it, like, clip the wall? Because Yugi did connect. I honestly don't know how Vecu's alive. I'll be honest with you. I assume it must have clipped, like, the very edge of a wall. But either that or just some BS. But I feel like he's a little bit unlucky with that one.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree. It certainly looked like it was on, but...
Someone slow it down. Prove me wrong.
A little bit of running inaccuracy or something in there. Who knows? Could have been the wall, though. Either way, it leads to that operator still floating around in this late round. And it's actually on the rotate as we speak towards this B site. That's where Fokus want to split through. Utility used up here. Your boy Lewis pops the null command. They're going to start to make their way in.
Oh, no! No! They're at the same time! Just feeding Vecu there. Boo, though, starting to make this one look possible. This guy's aim is off the charts. Again, trying to find a little bit more as he backs in towards the site. Now, you might be thinking, oh, well, this is a 2 versus 4. No, it was 1. The other was just down and no real chance to try and find him. I think he's just spotted Hype. Running out of bullets within the clip and getting this plant down. Well, it will go through.
10 seconds
the
left.
Flank coming in. I think he might actually be tagged up. I don't know if that's connected, and he still hasn't reloaded. He is dead to right. Good rotation from Boo, but a nice attempt from Buha.
Oh, it definitely was.
Ooh, butcher.
A
If you're
butcher.
British.
That was way in towards the side at least, and some good damage. But yeah, that's also equalized up. This game has been about neck and neck. Yeah, I'll give you that. It's been chaos when it comes down to some of the duels. That's what we love to see. Take a look at this one. Focus. Blade Storm to work with. Bye going to be a bit shaky. And
He was 16 HP.
Yep.
And he repeats.
he could so easily have been taken down in that initial fight inside a tube. Like that connection, that wall, whatever it was that got in the way of that being a kill, they definitely ended up paying a heavy price for it.
Don't worry, though. Yugi's got Blade Storm again. That was enough last time. And again, this is the play that worked for them last time. Now, they've actually set up the traps just to try and catch him. Boo has already managed to deny on the cross, and Boo has gone down. This is much better. This setup was actively to deny this sort of play. Lovely adaptation from OG.
Hillary's been spotted up twice. Double tag. And that'll be an easy kill. 6 rounds for OG London United confirmed and on the board. Possibility for 7. I mean, it's definitely looking good. Eliminating that Blade Storm as well is the main thing. You take down Yugi, and my faith in this round going your way triples.
I think if you get pinged by both the cam and the drone, you should just be permanently visible, like rather than pings. It should just be that you're glowing, because at that point, you're not even trying to avoid them.
Uber tagged. Lead to some interesting combos. Got a bunch of pressure by Focus in towards this elbow area. They want to fight it, make sure OG London United are not pushing it.
The spike.
Well, that info is guaranteed now. I wonder what the plan is. I like going straight out into B, especially I see the Viper Orb is in B main. And then there's a wall behind it. I really don't think a straight B main play is the way. I like that they're going to go for a little bit of a mid split, but look at this. OG London United are on their way back to fight for mid. They've got a player posted up now, Destrian, who's easily got that cross, and it's Yugi to go down again.
Yeah, that's the start you were looking for. In a lot of the rounds that they've had, he's been the impact player. Oh, timing couldn't be worse. Molsey seemingly having a sixth sense, and Destrian has just slaughtered them with the Hunter's Fury. It seems like Allure, I think he got tagged as well. So I think Alluri's position is noted as well. And wow, Becky comes along to just close it out. Great half for him as well, but ultimately OG London United, after a bit of an early back and forth, stabilized well on their defense.
Yep, they've definitely done well. I was doubting them a little bit at one point. Focus were building up some momentum, but they have gotten right back on the horse. Coming into this pistol, attack side will be tested. Now, I'm excited to see Feku because he seemed to be playing the attack side for a lot of that defense. So moving on to this half, should be interesting to see him what his ideas are around the attack side jet on Breeze. I think he's going to be a ton of fun to watch.
Well, pistol round victory would either level things up and get a good economy start. We've seen both teams have a heavy lean into the operator, even on the attack, so wouldn't be surprised to see that be one of the core factors in investment.
Poison's off.
The fact is, though, it's very heavy A lean early in this for OG London United, so chances are they're not going to be falling back off that one. And on the other side of things, it almost looks like a pure retake being set up.
Oh, Malsey, he held off, didn't spray away the rest of his clip, and was good to take a second. A devastating blow to Focus now. They're left in this 3v5, locked out of the site completely, and that shock dart even tagging up Yugi that little bit more. I don't see a clean way out of this one. Halls is even being watched late. They're not going to have the support from their teammate Abuha. He's going to have to go all the way through spawn, and by the time he gets there, everyone's already fallen. 4 kills. You've almost got the Seekers online coming into round 2.
I am pretty sure that Malsey has had the majority of his kills in 2 rounds. That pistol where he got 4 and then that 3K on the B site. it's just missed the impact at this point. It's like when they need a round, he's just coming up big to make sure that they confirm it. And well, getting out with 4 kills here is a great way to start off the second half. As you mentioned, ultimate not that far away. He's even going to go for a Vandal. Just decided to play that hero rifle right off the bat. And on the other side of things, you've only got Yugi investing into that Marshall, so not really much to play with here. The tags, though, could be massively valuable, but with the sheer pace of which this B hit is going in, I don't think it will be.
Deploying drone.
Yep, they're right in and onto the site. I like the idea of investing into the Vandal. It tells me you've got confidence in this round. You know that it's going to be when we're well, to be honest, I expect someone else to take a pistol. If you've got a Vandal, just to be that extra guy to kind of go around, you're often not going to see the full investment, but going all in like this, 100% behind it. Now you got to make sure you don't lose anything. Don't want to make that reinvestment coming into the next round. It's Malsey, who's point of contact. Mammoth the Vandal is up close. He's playing this angle that no one else can really help him from. To be honest, they can only cover his right side push-up, but he's content to hold this out. Caught on the way back. They've got to get in there and pick that Vandal back up. That's a lot of money on the floor, a lot of credits. That spike's coming close to explode, and they got to run. They're going to make it, though. It's okay. Just about in time. If those players on site stay alive another 2-3 seconds, that could have been a disaster.
Yeah, I think definitely with how far forward he was playing, a huge risk taken, but it does mean that they actually end up having the Seekers. And now he's not even going to be the one playing the rifle anymore. Just like that was his sacrifice. Get that piece of utility online. Obviously, the purchase on the other side is a lot stronger, although there are definitely pieces missing. Shock darts not available for Illuri. There's no real shields online either on the other side. They're like being dropped. Yugi doesn't have any up drops either. Like, there's a lot missing, in fact, for Fokus.
Seekers are out. Not really finding anything just yet. Yugi's still with the dash online, ready.
Oh, they know he's close.
To pop back.
And he's stunned. Oh, this is a problem.
He's back up, though. Good to go. Not even in the snake bite. Just about dancing around the outside, but too many players, too many angles.
Yeah, no, I actually feel like the Seekers, even though it was popped incredibly early, it's that value. Just being able to spam him into the corner and shoot, like they basically pincered through mid. They also knew that there was another player at the back of site, so they cleared him first because he's the one that can't actually do anything. Like I feel like, although, yeah, it was mainly just information, it's the way that they actually pressured onto the player that was the immediate threat. I think they managed to isolate that duel importantly, and then while everything else fell apart and Fokus, they've just got to save it. And this is a huge upgrade because I said earlier in the previous second round, the reason you see Fokus going for a lot of rifles is because to have success with SMGs on this map is incredibly difficult. They made that look very easy.
They did, yeah. Complete power play. And I want to, like, move out of that round. Fokus have been completely overpowered, blitzed out, and I think that of the round that was in it, using Seekers, using that speed is something that we often request almost on bonus rounds, right? Your attack side, you have a lot of weaknesses, like you want to get that distance and you want to close them. So it makes sense that they match it up like that. But for the pieces to line up, for it to be Malsey finding the 4K in the pistol, that was great. And then you see, right, the knock-on effect, as you're saying, of having Malsey up close with the Vandal. It looked like a crazy choice, but that round doesn't play out the same way if they don't make that choice.
Yeah, for sure. I think, especially in rounds like that, more than happy to see risks being taken. Financially, they're now off the charts, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this is Fokus's map choice as well. So they're in an awful spot. Going into, I also feel like going into an Ascent, I don't think that either team will be massively unhappy with that one, but for OG London United, it's them firmly in the driver's seat right now, and I honestly don't know what's going to disrupt it. I think they've got all the pieces online that they need to. You've got Feku performing. I feel like Malsey's starting to step up. Destrian, again, he's another player that I think has been fantastic this season. I think that in a lot of the teams that may not necessarily have the results, there's still been performances that I've been impressed by. I think Na'Vi is a prime example of that as well. well, against Focus, they're actually looking like one of the better teams so far. I think a lot of other teams maybe underestimated them a little bit. OG London United don't seem to be in that bracket.
Oh, strong flash. Yugi on the way through. He wants to keep on pushing. But you see there that little click, the awareness that there could be another player further back. He doesn't want to overcommit and get dropped. Tempered aggression. The value of it there shown with Yugi still alive, that rifle still to play with. And they're actually canceling their idea of the push altogether because they had a player, they had Vong up top, right? Ready to swing out in halls or catch them if they came up that way. But they call it off. They start to rotate back and just in time because the B side's about to be pushed. Nice shock dart. Another on its way. Good damage.
Glory under pressure, but one of the two rifles already managing to find a kill. This has slowed the push to a complete halt, but they are waiting. It's a firing squad, and Yugi goes swinging straight into it. Maybe a little bit over-aggressive, obviously feeling in this round that he had to sort of take some risks. Counter wall, not really going to delay them too much, but I believe it will have helped a little bit in the damage being done. They've also still got the cam, which is finding them extra information. Still, though, Blue turning this back into a 3v3 sits the advantage firmly with OG.
This peek on Boo, it's dangerous. And he's gone down. The heal on backside coming through. Malsey and Hype ready to fight again. Hype's going to be cancelled out. Wasn't too much he was looking to still do with Util, though. Silent stuff, but he'll still look to make some noise. And it's left to Malsey. He's been huge in so many of these rounds so far. That flash blinding him right up. Here comes the swing, but he's right ahead of it. Goes into your boy Lewis's tracks and takes him down. 11 on the board now for OG London United. And what little hope there was for Focus all boils down to this round. They don't manage to get it. I think we might just be looking at map number 2.
Yeah, it is also worth noting, obviously, in terms of the actual group standings, value for this is nil point. Like, neither team can qualify. But in terms of LCQ, I believe for OG London United, it could make a difference. Because obviously, they beat G2. Say G2, by some miracle, was able to win tomorrow. Obviously, I think they're facing off against Fnatic, so likelihood is slim. But let's say they do. OG London United would still be above them if they win this game. So that actually could make a bit of a difference to how many points they get going forward, especially with Big still having an opportunity to get quite a few points if they manage to qualify as well. So it's worth noting that although the value for Focus, it's almost just like pride, want to win a game, like all the waffle you can come out with. Sorry, desk. For OG, there actually is some genuine value.
Yeah, I spoke with Enzo recently about it, and we'll touch on that after this round, I think. But for players, I think most of the time they don't even care to think about that sort of stuff. A lot of players, at least, they'll come from the perspective of you just win the game. You know, sometimes you mess around, try new things, certainly, but you always want to take it across the line. And I think for OG London United, yeah, it helps. I'm sure someone will have said, guys, just FYI, this does still matter. It could still matter. You're in here 100% focused up, and you can see it. This is a strong face of OGLU, but for now, they don't seem to be doing too well on this push. The A side being held strong by Vong and Hype. Well, just 10 seconds left and 4 opponents to take down. I think this one is signed, sealed, delivered. Nice attempt, but it's going to be around for Focus.
Yeah, decent rotations from them, getting into position quite early. I will say a few of those duels just look very, very messy from OG, like tagged players that probably could have gone in the other direction, but they're definitely not in any sort of danger just yet. 5 rounds of difference, a couple needed. Financially, they can still purchase, like no troubles there. Okay, there isn't going to be an operator, but there could have been if they really wanted to bring that into the next round. Yugi, however, is going to get his one for free, and that's where things should get a little bit more exciting. As said, like he's had his moments, but I want to see that superstar performance, especially in a game like this. He's a caliber of player where I think he should be able to take over a game, similarly to what we saw in the last match from Cloud.
Oh, nice shot by Yugi. Gonna try to dash on out. Looks like he's free. He doesn't want to be. Wants to stick around a little bit more and keep this angle. Huge control for Focus. It doesn't even look like he's happy with that still. He's going out looking for more, wanting someone to peek him. I mean, gotta be careful about this. You're seeing the push come up through through the elbow from OG London United. And if they go all the way up, they could have caught Yugi out on a side angle. Luckily, though, that ain't going to be happening. The noise being made as well by the drone up through defeats the element of surprise aspect.
Watching this spot.
Behind the pit.
Scanning ahead.
Oh, a chance. It seemed like they could align for a second, but Aussie will win that battle. Vong just being a nuisance, though. Sat at the back. His pit about to be removed, and so is his head. Molsey's found another again. Mr. Impact. Exactly when they need him. Spike should be able to cross without too many problems. And actually, they have a Viper's pit of their own. They're also going to get the info. So all of those players have to get out of the open. Booher going to start making his move through, though. Wrapping around. Now, bear in mind, Molsey is incredibly low on HP. It could be almost a free kill, especially if they just jump around that angle, because it's almost looking in the wrong direction. Nice shot from Molsey, though. Seekers is going to give the info to his teammates at least. And now Boo can sort of wrap around. The problem is they're going to get that information straight back. Both teams pretty much knowing where the other are. It doesn't matter, though. Hype has found one more, leaving Bua 1 HP and just running for the hills, wanting to hold on to the gun. It's 12 for OG.
Guaranteed on the board. And now 6 chances to close this out. With this being Fokus's map pick, Tom, like you said earlier, we can see in the top left of the screen, Ascent up next. That's what OG London United wanted to bring into this series. I'm very worried. I'm very worried because Fokus, look, they have had some incredible games along the way. Even thinking about, we saw OG London United, I think it was only last week versus FPX, right? And it was not impressive. It was a complete shutdown. Fokus.
No, there's a caliber above.
Yeah, for sure. Fokus, I mean, they nearly took a map off them. They did get 13-1 right after, but it was 13-11 map 1. They did a good job on that first map.
To be honest, both teams over the course of 2 maps won about the same amount of rounds.
That's bad true.
Uh-oh. Well, a complete change of pace. Straight in towards the B side. It's going to be a full-on retake. Now, there is no command Hunter's Fury. 2 pretty impactful ultimates available, especially the Hunter's Fury to clear some of the ground. But just look at the reposition. They're looking to try and wrap back through short and head in from behind. You can see the clear coming through from Booher to try and wrap him from behind, but instead it's Destrian to get the first kill.
Becky's holding, waiting for Vong to walk through that wall. He hadn't got a chance. Down it goes, and Hillary tries to get them a kill or 2. Oh! What is that? Fokus are right back in. Molsey has to clutch it. They're on the defuse, other side of the pillar. Knife out. Molsey's got to run. He's got to go. They've almost got it now. He's too late to the party. The defuse under their nose. And an incredible retake. I don't know how they found all those kills. It was lightning fast.
Guys, just stay alive. I've got an awesome flank. Just whatever you do, don't all go down to Alluri. Damn it! Like, this was nuts. Like, look at their after plans at this point. They didn't seem like there was any way back in, especially with Molsey wrapping back around, but some tasty shots hit by the Sova, and well, again, it's not going to do too much in terms of OG and economy. They can still buy, but they're on the brink at this point. And they had a 5v5 afterplant there with some weak weapons in for the other side, so that's definitely not the way they wanted to let a round slip.
Wow, quite the blow has been dealt. Fokus now having Yugi with a Blade Storm. The impact has been felt by this ultimate many, many times. It's going to start out slowly. Of course, the Blade Storm on both sides, so there's always a danger, but Yugi, the man again, to step it up and start. Molsey down. Flash is gone. And a big clutch player for this team. Now out of the round. Oh, what?
There's just nobody watching. Like, they've got the screen up. Why would... Oh, that's such an error. That's such a huge error coming out from the defensive side. I don't know how that manages to happen, but they've got to feel silly. Even the sound cue should have given it away, but hey, OG London United will take that all day long, leaving it back into a 3v3. You talked about the impact that Blade Storm needs to have. Well, let's see it.
Please, and the right click through. Good stuff. Who has left alone and just too much to do. Yeah, I'm scratching my head on that one. It was good from OG London United to apply the pressure from all these different angles, but such a basic mistake. Both players staring at the one angle, shot in the back by the run out, and the run out on the back of a Viper wall. I mean, that's a normal play. That's a standard play. So all things considered, good face from OG London United, but Fokus, they've, as I said, been hit or miss. And this map here, Tom, it was a miss.
Yeah, one of the chances, of course, for them to finally get a win on the board. In fact, probably the one that we would have expected them to take with some of the performances we've seen from OG London United. But it seems like they have bloomed late in this season. And, well, I'm a little bit worried for Fokus right now. Luckily, they've got a huge fan over on the desk who is going to tell us all the good things and why they're going to win this next map. So we'll just hand it over to them.
Dare to challenge yourself. Who's next?
Red Bull gives you wings.
Talk big, but I rebel none. Old school, but in my prime like Amazon. Gold belt on my shoulders like a champion. Still running the game, you started cramping on. Hoping that I'm losing a step. This ain't much you can help. Yo, they call me a zombie, cause I do this to death. Can't take nothing from me, man, I'm constantly hungry. At my best where I'm comfy, like a sofa that's lumpy. We don't quit, we don't cry. If we leave, we take it all. Only rise, we never fall. Just emerge to take the call. Call it an emergence. This is me coming in to view the apex. Best stepping over you. Call it an emergence. Freedom got me acting brand new. Molly in my bag like it's long overdue. So emergence. Never fall back, never quit. A disturbance. Can I get rewards without the risk? I deserve it. Perfection with the hand of vigorness. You will never see another like this. Call it an emergence. On the board, it's a runaway train. Unstoppable. Started from the bottom in the grain.
Dare to challenge yourself. Who's next?
All right, welcome back to VCT Emea Challengers Week 5, Day 2. My name's Ian Chambers, on the desk with Kakuka and Lothar, and now I'm going to explain their badges in just a second because we are luckily joined, as if by magic, two huge fans of both OG and of Fokus. And OG take the first step towards potentially securing victory here. Kakuka, you must be absolutely delighted.
I am wearing this tag with pride right now. It's amazing what we have seen from Fokus here. It took them a little bit to actually get into the match. Most first rounds were a little bit, not particularly one-sided for either of the teams. But after Feku decided to listen to all the information that Mosi was granting him with all his utility, he got things right for All Blue.
Look, I'm just gonna say we got unlucky. You know, it's just there was not a single tactical mistake made by us.
Wait, what?
Just literally only luck. Like if Multi wouldn't have clutch
luck
that got
were
those
your
multi-kills.
shots. The shots that Buka was hitting.
How? That was a lucky double kill.
A collateral requires two players to line in on an entrance. Okay,
yeah, it was just
that
luck.
is a mistake.
Just all luck and Multi getting the free kills. Look, he is standing alone on site against an eco of a Vandal. That could have been such a disaster. Only luck here decides who wins. You know, like it's okay. Fokus will just forget this one map, sorry, and just regroup for the next one. That's it. This doesn't count.
These statistics must fill you with joy right now, Kakuka.
Oh yeah, of course. It's not only the damage done actually, but I think that coming into Breeze, knowing that it's focus pick and that you have to adapt a little bit on the fly, I think that to me the difference between the Sky and the KO was definitely there. Not only because Lewis, as I said before, we got into the match, that he's a little bit of, you either get the most insane player out of them all, or you're just like, Lewis, what are you doing? Please, we know that you can do so much better.
Look, if you've just joined and you're a little bit confused, these two are supporting each of these teams for this series and this series only, all right? Just so you know. When it comes to a player highlight, it's got to be Molzy.
Yeah, to me, completely, especially because we were highlighting how Feki was behaving on that defense, but on the attack, it was all about Molzy. He was the one getting the entry frags, getting not only the information, but actually playing to the rest of the team. So we love the flexibility, and especially for next map, it's only going to get better between him and Destrian.
Okay, you must be scared of him, right?
No, I
Wait,
just
what?
know his agent pool is very deep, so I would assume he's not playing very well on every one of those agents because there's no way he mastered all of them, you know? So, yeah. But I do agree he had some impactful kills, but again, it was just all luck.
Are you leaving the jersey on when you go over to the telestrator right now?
Yeah, I mean, of course I'll keep it, because on the telestrator I'll just showcase some mistakes.
Okay, he's all in. I love this.
It's very simple, but this is also something that you can learn. You can learn something from this round and actually apply this even in your ranked gameplay here. So I'm gonna zoom in on the minimap because that's what we have to focus on here. Of course, we have to focus, right? So look at Molzy here in the holes. He has his Seekers available, and he's gonna press the button to release them. Now the thing is, when he's gonna do that, he actually gonna go closer to the doors than to the vents. So the problem is, Seekers always try to find the closest route towards the enemies. And if he would have stand closer to the vent in the first place, then those Seekers would have always traveled through the vent rather than the doors. And if the doors are closed, well then, unfortunately, they're getting blocked, so you're losing a lot of value. Then next round, literally only luck. Look at this duel. Yugi versus Fekyu here. And it's literally just luck. Yugi gets the first shot, he flicks to the opponent, leaves him at 16 HP, through the wall with an operator in the holes. The only thing that saved Fekyu here from dying is the metal wall. If it would have been wooden, he would have been dead.
It was perfectly calculated. Actually, the reason why the Seekers behave that way and Molzy just walks back and runs to the other side of the map is because Destrian had just died, and he was just on the rescue to see who had taken him down.
I feel bad. I feel like I've created some friction here. I apologize. You know,
I'm not playing into this.
It's only my second day here, and I'm causing chaos already. Right, next map, Ascent, is where we will be traveling to next. And I imagine, Team OG, you are feeling pretty confident.
Listen, I understand perfectly the reason why they've decided to go for this map, and I actually think that something that is going to happen here, that we expect to happen, is something that Lothar is going to like as well. It's not only the way that they won against G2, it was the combined force, and I was highlighting Molzy and Destrian for a reason, that Fade and Sova are going to be played onto this map, because the most surprising is what they do on the attack, how they execute onto the sides, and knowing the Focus is going to be starting on the defense, that is what I'm going to be focusing on.
Well,
No pun intended.
yeah, no pun intended. Yeah, I am a big fan of Fade and Sova together. I'm upset that it's not Focus who's using that, but maybe it'll swap. I don't know. But it is very efficient. When you have to focus on those two pieces of utility at the same time, it's pretty rough. And it's like, you have to time it perfectly, right? Because if the Haunt is like popping at the same at the same time as the Recon is landing, then you have to diversify your attention towards two different angles. It's almost not doable. And then as the Seas comes down, shock darts, and like whatever, it's very tough to stop.
I'm going to give you something to work with, because I know that you're struggling here. Those executes are going to be extremely strong. Is the post plan that has me a little bit worried, because that is where they have, where Focus is going to have the chance to actually disrupt them. They were not solid there against G2. Now, on the side of Focus, when they play this map against Ascent, I think that they got pretty, let's say, unlucky. Because Zenit was the one getting the openers against them, and there was not much that they could do when Zenit is online like he was that day.
So, as a Focus fan right now, Lothar, right? You know, you're hanging on by a thread. You're going into your second map Why are you so confident we're going to make it to map 3?
Well, we just, you can't get unlucky 2 maps in a row.
Okay.
Just that doesn't work that way. Like with SSK, he was insane against Liquid, but he didn't do much today, and yet the team won, right? Because that's the balance in the force, or whatever Thanos did.
When you lose, what's going to be the excuse?
We got unlucky twice in a row, and that
You
shouldn't
said that
have
doesn't
happened.
happen.
Yeah, it's like the lightning striking twice in the same place. It doesn't happen, and yet you see it. It's so unlucky.
Well, I'll tell you what, if these teams, anyone from either of these teams are watching right now, I feel like you guys deserve actual jerseys shipping out to your addresses as soon as possible. But as we get set for Agent Select, what sort of a composition do you think your roster are going to go with right now, OG?
Oh, that's you.
Oh, yeah, that's sorry. So we expect Boo to be on the Omen, as I said, Destrian and Molsey getting Fade and Silver respectively. Hype keeping up on that Cypher. He actually had a brilliant performance on the defense, but that will be the second half. I do not expect the changes coming in because it's, as I said, a composition that worked perfectly.
Yeah, I mean, it is 3 agents that have vision control, which is pretty impressive. Like, there's a lot of, let's say, areas of similarity, but they combine, they give a lot of value. Now, for Fokus, though, we have a Sentinel that actually can deal damage and has a useful ultimate when you compare it to Cypher, like...
Molsey's on the other side. I don't think the Book is going to get it.
Killjoy also has a hat, but at least she's not throwing it. Like, maybe Chronicle can learn her to teach her. But in general, I would say...
Get Chronicle into this, okay?
there's actually a potential combo here from Bucher when it comes to lockdown and defragment from Lewis, like a combo, when they go into wine because they have to retake. They retake and they push them people into the wine. Then the defragment goes in, and they are blown to pieces. I can all see it happening in front of me right now, in front of my eyes. My imagination is like fully focused.
You can't stop this man with his puns. You cannot stop him. Now, as Tom Biz alluded to earlier, there is still value in a win here for OG. Can they deal Focus their final dagger here in Challengers, or will we see this team kick back in their swan song? It's time to find out with Mitch and Tom.
Well, Tom, diving into map number 3, how are we feeling? Are we thinking about it? Map number 3? Are you feeling
pretty
it?
good. No, I do want to say, I want to give a shout out, obviously, to the desk. You got Ian, you've got Kakuka, and Lothar, who has recently been possessed by Zesht, because I don't know what has just come over him over the last, 10 minutes or so, but I've never heard more waffle in my entire life. Either way, we're going to be getting into Ascent, a map where I have thoroughly enjoyed watching OG London United, which you might be thinking, Tom, have you gone mad? They've not had a great season, but it's mainly Destrian. I think Destrian's Fade is something to enjoy, especially the way he uses even just the seizes on the fly. I think we've had a lot of teams with very structured ideas of how to use the C's, whereas I still remember in the game versus G2, they started losing a lot of rounds to A-Site Executes, an execution which G2 stole from FPX. But he then counters it with a seize and then has his teammates spam through the door to catch them. So just something to bear in mind when they're on defense, and I think they're a decent Ascent team. I'm interested to see what Fokus have and not just what Lothar saw in his mind.
In his mind's eye. Well, oh, there's a little bait going on. But Vong has not got the value from it. Survived quite a while there. Flash is certainly contributing to it. The damage done is significant, but they need someone to follow up on it. And as of yet, OG London United haven't pushed all the way. Now they try, and Yugi's there to greet them. 4 kills on the board. A shutdown on this B site. Fokus have certainly come in swinging.
I don't know if Lothar saw that one in his mind's eye, but I certainly didn't. Yugi popping off in the pistol round again. As I said, we've had these sort of moments from him, these explosive rounds that just make him look like a formidable player, but then rest of the map sometimes going a little bit quiet. But obviously that defensive side is where we really expect to see that work done from him. I will say one of my least favorite things to see going into a second round buy is someone having a rifle and shields, like low shields. I don't like it. Just because of the fact that you're most of the time you're going to be up against a sheriff. Everybody hates a 145. Well, a 145 when you have 125 health, you're going to hate it a little bit more.
It's true, right? If you're in a position where Yugi is, I guess that's pretty much his only threat I think the reason that he's bought this, the light shields, will be because he doesn't want to get taken down by a Marshall, but he's probably feeling like he should be able to win those fights most of the time. And he's far enough back that even if a Sheriff does win the duel, he can at least have his teammate, like Hillary's, right beside him, swing through, cover the rifle, and play off the back of the Killjoy utility. I don't mind it in the position he was in. I just don't want to see too many risks being taken with it, and that's one.
Hi, my name's Tom, and welcome to my TED Talk.
To be fair, that's less than 30 meters, so I don't think we were in 145 territory either way. I think actually he just saved himself 25 shields worth of credits, so I don't know about you, Tom, but
bargain. Oh, that's a kill. See you later, Hype. Straight onto his feet, and well, they're running out of time. They're going to have to go running in, and I think your boy Lewis has a pretty good position here alongside Vong. This crossfire should be fairly nasty. He goes dashing past. And hey, are they even going to be... I think they've just... Yeah, they've retrieved the rifle. That's something. And they've got the Guardian back. Okay, I guess the most expensive weapons are brought through, but yeah, that was probably a little bit more costly than Fokus ever would have liked.
It certainly was. I think Yugi getting involved in some of those fights, obviously farming up his orbs. Now in a position just 2 away from Bladestorm, but Feku's right in the same spot. So on both sides of it here, you've got these teams coming in with very powerful ultimates just about to come into play. I think Feku probably going to have it coming out of this one for an eco if they have to take it. But it's Yugi. He's already been committed on so much to try and make these early duels happen. Last time he had the caveat of light shields. He had a much more passive play. This time, though, going down with the aggression right away. He's been spotted. Quickly relieves himself in that situation.
Again, still looking to try and push and probe, but they've given up a lot of space elsewhere. It's something that your boy Lewis has taken into consideration, and Feku's going to get dropped, but the TP into the site, making this a retake scenario, could make it a little bit more difficult. Boo almost caught out, but he will be able to round the corner and potentially just going to use this paranoia in an attempt to delay any further aggression. Even still, though, not a bad spot for Fokus to be in, especially with the amount they've invested here.
See, this late play by Hype is being watched, and they've just put an alarm bot down. His plan's now in threat and destroy that and start to shift backwards. That'll slow it. Put a little bit of a thorn in the side of this push in towards the A site. Nice hold by Boo. Good for one. Dropped right after. Look at this, though. Arrow out. That's dangerous. Malcy's going to go down. Haunt through. They're trying to check where this diffuser is. They got him right through the smoke. But then... oh, it comes through his time. It's way too low. Way too low. Oh, wow. Spray and pray, and it certainly came through.
Okay, I may have said that I highlight Destrian going into this map. Not for that. Like, I'm not going to pretend that I could have seen that one coming. That was as random as it gets. Like, even though you know the lineup onto the spike, he killed 2 players, one on the left of it and one on the right with the same spray. Like, that's pure fluke. And then maybe there was something to what Lothar was saying, because I think that one definitely did come down to luck. The unfortunate truth as well is that's a bonus round, and it's fantastic for Fokus, but it's not. They bought back into it with rifles, so you see what's currently in. Okay, you got a Bladestorm, you got 3 rifles still, but then Iluri's left a little lower, and, well, the buy on the other side's definitely better.
Yugi's on his way up. Here we go. He's been dangerous this series. Not going to find anything now, and down to 2 blades. Has support. The spray doing damage. Boo very low, and a headshot connected. Refreshed up. 5 blades to play with yet again. And Malcy is edging closer to taking that fight, but it looks like OG London United will be spared for now. Yugi's falling back. They're even going to use their drone up to clear it and make sure that this isn't just some fake information. Very costly early round for this attack.
Again, it was a detriment in the last round, but they did manage to recover. Hype. She's taking the lead here, and they're going to utilize the Nightfall, but it doesn't seem to matter. Can't even hear anything. Iluri's still landing the shots. Nice trade back from Boo, but Is there going to be a way out of there? He could TP straight in towards the A site. Instead, he actually goes into B main. And not knowing the position of your boy Lewis and, well, trying to cross back into the site, I think he's about to get taken out completely. I assume this is a complete misread from Destrian, unfortunately. And now with only 8 seconds left, this round is over.
He's being detected. And they've got a Blade Storm. They're going to want to dive on him, take him down, make sure he doesn't save this weapon. And there it is. Yugi through the smoke to confirm it. Strong round for Fokus. OG London United falling apart there towards the end, losing out on their buy round, losing out on their economy now. As they're forced down to an eco. This should be a 4-1 deficit. And I have to say, Illury, ridiculous. The only player coming in without a rifle. No, that said, obviously Yugi came in without a rifle. They had a Blade Storm. Illury's playing with a with a Sheriff. They're probably like, just try to tag a few players. Yeah, if they come your way, like hit them once or twice. Dude just pops off.
Get out of my way.
Oh, there's not much invested into this round at all. You got the Blade Storm as the only real piece, and hey, that piece has already managed to find Yugi. Boy, Lewis looking to play the closer angle. Might work out a little bit better for him. And while Vicky can't really do anything, he's actually going to wait to see if Lewis actually goes for a peek. Now, unfortunately, as you sort of mentioned earlier, the position of which Yugi died, his gun is inaccessible, at least right now.
The Blade Storm's still around, though. Until that's dealt with, I don't think these guys need to even worry about a rifle. None of them need to shoot. Vecchio's going to be leading the charge. Destrian's gone down, though. Another tag. Good damage. Here's the battle on backside. Blades now ran out. We're down to the classic. The pistols now having to show up. And Abu is putting an end to that. 3 kills to close out any potential in this round. It'll just be Yugi that falls. And altogether, I think Fokus, again, going to have a smile on their face with that one.
Yeah, they're really starting to build up a little bit of economy alongside it as well. And I like the patience of Bua here. Just making sure that, okay, there's going to be something else for them to look at as they go pushing through, not giving up the control, not getting overzealous either, which I think is very easy to do when you know you're up against a weaker buy. This is where we'll see the full rifles once again invested onto OG London United. Of course, a lot of the time you are going to expect the bulk of rounds on Ascent to come from that defense, especially if you can get early finances, which is something that Fokus have definitely managed to do. Pressure onto short, though, not really going to be accessible, at least for now. And again, we're just going to see this wide net almost spread out for the side of OG. They haven't really been able to claim much of mid, which, considering how little pressure there actually is there, is a bit of a surprise.
That tag didn't go through. Very early. Both coming out of your boy Lewis. The minute left on the clock. I mean, that's going to disrupt the timing of OG London United, but not necessarily anything else. And it's not like Fokus have rotated or done anything crazy. It has caused OG London United to go back towards A, though. They were shifting up on B main, started to move back, and now Fokus are rotating fully. This is an interesting round, Tom. I mean, there's some information game at play that must run very deep.
Left.
Wonder if we're going to see the orb taken. Molsey, it would give away the game, but it seems like that's already up. Dart through, but they actually pushed before it. An easy kill on Tabur. He was a rock in the last round. This time, he's gone down like one. They've still managed to hold on to short control as well. It's not like there's going to be any sort of lockdown in this position. And now they're even going to have the information of where they're pushing from. This is going to be a difficult crossfire to clear.
It's a triple crossfire. You don't see that too often. 3 guns, 2 angles. Good night and sweet dreams. The spray is perfect. Mulsey picking up a double and Fong's left alone. Dropping down is being heard and dealt with right away. 2 rounds the board for OG London United. That was a fascinating round. Between the early ult inside of Market, the pullback from OG London United, and then Fokus deciding to use up some of that information gaining utility, see nobody there around middle, round B, fly over towards the A site and stack that up. I just wonder what caused OG London United to have such a severe reaction to that null command.
Turret out.
Well, at least for now. We've got almost a full buy, and then you got Vong. Just got a Bucky. Casually got a Bucky into this round. They're doing quite well of forcing players back as well in this challenge for mid. And what I mentioned in the last round, grabbing that orb instead, Molzy now has that piece. Utility, nice shot! Out from your boy Lewis. 2 quick kills, trade not quite quick enough. Because of that, again, we're going to see OG London United in a little bit of trouble.
Certainly a storm brewing for this attack side if they come back in at the wrong time. Yugi very close in the spawn, but with just 30 HP. I don't think he's going to have, at least on paper, the biggest of saves. 1 detected. They're not sure how deep that detection was either. Little do they know these players are creeping out. They've smoked for the push out, but they're already way towards the stairs, towards the spawn. Your boy Lewis dropped. As I said, 30 HP on Yugi. One of his teammates playing this one with a Bucky. I'm not sure how strong this retake can possibly be for Fokus.
The thing that could make it interesting, though, is the lockdown. I'm intrigued to see how aggressive we're going to see the rest of the players. Because you can clear some of these close angles, or you can take that control and then clear the back of the site. Now, this is going to force them in. Now, Vong's managed to retrieve it, but actually, instead, Molzy's going to play from outside. So this is going to be a bit of an issue for them. He's also going to grab the info for the rest of his teammates of how far forward they're currently going to be and almost give away the game that they're currently pushing forward. Instead, they get pinged up. And Boo, all he really has to do is survive at the back of the site, knowing that there's still this man in the backlines. It's going to be cleared out by Vong, but then he headshots him straight through the wall. Nice little dart thrown out. And OG London United, they survived that round.
Just about. Oh, I mean, looking at that, probably 30 seconds before the retake comes through, it certainly didn't seem like they'd have much of a chance. But as you said, there were some signs there, like that lockdown in play. Obviously, Vong, just moments later, got himself the rifle upgrade and certainly gives you a much better chance to fight right back into things. The 4-3 scoreline certainly looking decent for this attack as the rounds build up again and again. And Fokus are left down to pistols here. Just a couple of sheriffs to play with. And I'm not too sure how much we're going to see from this kind of blanket coverage out of them. This I don't mind in the early round. Obviously, you want to just grab information, punish in the individual fights. But I kind of expect them to start grouping up once we see a lack of contact elsewhere. You also know OG London United, though, are going to probably play defaulty on this, not wanting to run into a stack. But yeah, in the end, eventually, you're going to stack up. Build into a site and hope OG London United gamble on the wrong side. Oh, interestingly, they're putting down some smokes on this defensive side on A. I'm gonna like fake them out that way.
Yeah. It doesn't seem to work. Also, the other thing I would be tempted to do if I'm OG London United, from the shadows, not the most useful ult in the world. I almost just have B or Boo just TP and just have a look. One of the sites, see if he can spot any individuals, see if he can spot a stack. Like, I don't think it's going to play a part in many other rounds, but it seems like they've got a good read here. Or are just, as Lothar said, lucky.
Who knows? You know, they're peeking all. You can imagine if there was a shorty on either of those corners or both, that's a disaster. But obviously, because the drone hadn't cleared it yet, they were a little bit eager to swing on those.
I think, like, you see a lot of the time Jet stashing into the site with that smoke. Think you doing that with an op might be one of the riskiest things I've ever seen anyone do. But hey, it works out for them. They're very ready. You're also going to have the Haunt, which could reveal quite a few players. Paranoia does actually leave them blind underneath, but Veku's still going to land the shot. A firing range as they push out. Almost too easy for him. Earning up that Blade Storm. One away. While Buha desperately trying to at least take one. Just for the road.
No, he won't get anything that's a flawless round out of OG London United. Look how low the HP is on those middle three players. It was damn close to having some flaws in it. They've walked out of that one clean as can be. And honestly, I think Veku went down to 5 HP within the first couple seconds of this. Bang, there you go. And he's still just kind of lurking around, getting shot at. He just survived for so long. Now one away, as you said, from getting that Blade Storm. So they're in a pretty secure spot right now on the attack side. You know, a ton to fall back on, both with their economy, with their ultimates that are about to come online. And I look at Fokus and think, yeah, this is definitely the right time to call a timeout, take a breather. I think they're starting to let this one slip a little bit.
Well, 4-4. Yeah, I definitely agree. I think after getting off to a good early start, we've seen OG London United really fight back in. Some of the rounds have been very close. Of course, the last one being flawless definitely helps them economically for the future rounds, but now we wait and see what they're going to be able to get done with that operator back into hand. As said, like, Yugi's definitely had his explosive moments, 4K in the pistol round, but 4 kills since then. And this is where, if you're investing heavily into this man being able to get aggressive, having even supportive utility there at times, he needs to start having that impact. Not had a bad game so far, don't get me wrong, but a lot of that was in the pistol.
A lot of pressure coming up and a lot of information. Fokus have spotted 2 players outside of here. Big swing coming through. What the spray attempt from Feku. It's brave. And Boo takes advantage of the chaos to take those 2 kills, trading out his teammate. And the one that died over towards Market earlier. Fantastic picks for them, but it really just sets the ground level again. They're coming back up with the spike. This is going to be an A take, but giving Yugi that 1v1 now makes this a whole lot more complicated.
Yeah, they're almost trying to bait out the shot. Boo with an operator of his own taking this angle is not going to be easy, but instead, Mozi has started to sneak his way through. This might be for free. It's just about the timing of everything and whether or not he's actually going to be spotted. It seems like Yugi's actually had the awareness to almost switch up his gaze a little bit here. No real teammates to support him, but that rotation is eventually coming back through from Illuri, and while the time looked so incredibly good, now it's fallen completely flat.
Left.
And now there's some big troubles, and Boo's being spotted. There's no way for him to get back in here, surely. He's still trying to challenge. Still looking for these picks with the operator in hand, the ultimate to play with. But if he goes back, he's going to be caught still. Boo has not moved. They're fully aware of what's going down and of the possibilities. And to be honest, there might be a chance that they push all the way through and try to take it off. For a second there, I've seen Illuri get a little bit aggressive, start to get close, but with this much credits, this many credits, excuse me, in the back pocket, I would be shocked if they were to see any of those weapons as expendable. 5-4, nice little recovery from Fokus after the pause. They needed that. They've still got plenty of ultis to play with, but I'm again going to be worried about reloading this round. You know, it's Feku's aggression is so unpredictable, but I feel like he's kind of gone off the chain a little bit in some of these rounds. After being punished now, I expect him to kind of tighten up ship and an operator peek in through Market. This is danger.
Boo has actually managed to take an insane amount of ground. He just TPs all the way in towards the spawn almost. Do they really not know? It seems like they have absolutely no idea, but yet Boo hasn't really made his move yet. Finally, he's going to kill off your boy Lewis. I guess he just thought his play was so obvious that risking a peek there didn't really make much sense, but somehow, even with that stick, Fokus have managed to come out firmly on top.
Got themselves the side, but look at this. Look at Illuri alone. Isolated. Oh, the timing perfect, but the shots are not. Hype manages to shut him down. Boo in towards the Market. As the plan's coming in, will they expect them to be so split? Just be careful not to show his barrel as they come around. It's the only thing. Oh, look perfect. Oh no! 5 HP, they're coming, and he runs out of ammo as well. Hype's on the way back up. They're ready. They're looking at this angle. Of course, he just popped a cage a moment ago, and around the corner he comes. Easy wall bang. Oh, that's a devastating round. You can't help but feel like that could have been theirs if Boo can connect that first shot.
That's the thing. It's like it's one of two things. Either just obviously connecting the shots or just being more patient. Like, they had absolutely no idea that he was there. And I think he just rushed it. And it definitely happens, but that's got to be infuriating because that round was dead to rights. Like, you had Hype in the back of the site, you had him with a free kill, and then they could just play with the time. That's all they really have to do from that position onwards. But instead, a bit of a whiff. And unfortunately, even though, like, up until this round, he's been fantastic, that whole round seems like it could have been a lot cleaner if OG just play a little bit more together. Like, you look at the fact that they had one player behind and one player in front of your boy Lewis. The fact he gets as much value as he does is ridiculous because they should have been able to pincer onto him better.
Face your fear!
They storm in play up and above. It's running out of ammo, and it's the Spectre. The quick draw time serving them well on this one.
No charges left.
Oh, that's the pick. Oh, come on. Stop it now, Peck. Give it a rest, mate. He's found a second kill up through mid. Hype following. Great TP after the blind. Good night and sweet dreams with Hillary left alone. 1v4. This round is done.
Out of charges. Gun.
Yeah, I think another round where
Round in the half.
I don't really know how OG London United, or more specifically Feku, I don't know how he gets anywhere near as much value as he does. 2 kills off the back of what was ultimately a Spectre. Like, sure, it started off as a Blade Storm, but that barely did anything. And from then onwards, just getting out with a couple of kills and leaving the players on site screwed. So, yeah, 6-5. Still going to be a purchase coming in. Definitely not as good as some of the others we've seen, but all 5 ultimates online for Fokus. So, even on that alone, that should be enough for them to win the round. But the fact that they haven't really been utilizing them prior is a bit surprising.
Understory through.
Oh, they think they're in the side.
Yeah, I was going to say, it kind of paused for a second because you've got the nades down and players with line of sight, but Hunter's Fury pulse comes through while they're behind the choke point, so that's some value missed on that one.
I think it's just bad information.
Yep.
Like, I think, like, especially after the first burst, I think it was definitely communicated across, but that almost sounds like one guy going, they're in, and it's like, where are they?
Hey.
Hey, main. It's like, how many are on site? Oh, they're not on site. Well, how do you know they're in? I might have been a little bit overzealous. Don't worry though. They've because they actually use the null command there as well. So they use 2 ults there. Luckily, Yugi is the only ult that matters. Illuri as well. He makes up for the Hunter's Fury, and it comes incredibly close. But you know, Fokus take the round. This is fine.
Switching sides.
Oh yeah, I mean, convincing, clean,
Yeah,
clean.
5 HP. That's better than 4, 3, 2, and 1.
That is true. There were many worse scenarios. 0, one could argue, would be even worse. So
Yeah.
there you go. Look at that. Gorgeous from Hillary. Absolutely fantastic. 7-5.
Love his haircut as well.
It's gorgeous. You're a big fan, are you? Put some work in.
Yeah, I've tried to look that good, but I don't think I quite got the styling right.
Yeah. I think honestly the shine's just a bit too much, Tom. That's blinding at times.
It's warm in here.
Oh god. Focus on the attack up through mid, but looks like Uglu have a similar idea. Their pistol's gonna see a fast play through the smoke. They've been butchered at the start, but looks like they've got a little bit of a punch packed as well. On the cross, spotted and taken down, not just 1, but 2 to the single trap wire. The blind spray as the bullets just connect on players he didn't even know were there. That's about as good as it gets.
Wow. I appreciate the attempt to walk all the way around. It's nice to go on a little bit of exploration. But I think OG might see this one coming. In fact, I think they're incredibly aware that this could be happening. He's still going to get 1 though. But, all right, that's not the way I expected him to die, but fair enough. Feku, he just I feel like he likes to ignore all expectations and yeah, just do stuff like that.
Sometimes there's no better way. And then you end up with full Spectres here for OG London United. Not quite the same boat for Fokus. I mean, a tough spot. I do think that, let me look down. Yeah, everyone's got the full shields on OG London United. I was a fan of buying up the rifle in that second round, but I think it certainly makes sense here. When you look at the agents that you've got to play with as well, there's so much that can allow you to get that hyper-aggressive stance. And up here in A main, and they were looking for the control. They were looking for the fight over on the defensive side, but Fokus have given it up. They're playing this one very cautiously, very slowly.
I love this. They've done this
My
before.
God.
It's so clever. They use the cam to spot the player, then they use the dart afterwards after they've received the information, and then Hype plays in his own cage. They did this exact strat versus G2. The exact same thing. And it has worked exactly the same both times. It's just free kills.
It's just beautiful seeing stuff like that go down. Little utility combos make the most of these kind of rounds. And to be honest, you have to just keep on clocking up these clean engagements. Not losing their shields on most players, even coming out of this, would be huge for them. I'm like Yugi, though, going to make that a little bit difficult. 30 seconds left on the clock. Fokus need to make a decision on where they're going. Blitz this round out and try to take some more rifles out of the hands. It's going to be the B site. Hillary down and out already. You got Bong. No vision on the way through. No flashes. Yugi now left alone. 1 versus 3. He'll drop the side. He'll even get the plant by the looks of things. So a decent opportunity to draw them in for another fight.
Yeah, the fact that they've come out with a couple of kills from the initial scenario they were in, I think Fokus have done quite well there. Plant as well, a few extra credits to go through. Like a lot of the time you go into these rounds with a piece or two missing. I think they're just pinging to see if they can find any extra pistols.
Round 15. Full buy for Fokus. Everything to work with, and I'm curious how much OG London United decide to throw at this. Because there were some opportunities here for heavier investments to come through. Certainly on those players with the pistols. But it looks like the risk isn't going to be taken. Maybe a different world if Feku's close to his ult or something, but his 2 orbs, not worth it.
Again. Looking like they're going to try and set up. I like how they can almost rotate between Fade and Sova for who's going to get them that information. It means you have to adapt. Like, it means you can't set up, because obviously you normally set up for a dart. So then you're looking at the wall where you can shoot it. Then you're going to have the haunt pop up, and it's a completely different position to where you'd normally find. Same with any of the prowlers that go through. So I like the variation coming through from OG London United. And of course, in this round, any information they can get is going to have huge amounts of value. I thought for a second that was going to bounce back and hit Vong, but no. And the issue here is Molzy is alone completely.
Yeah, the whole team is coming towards him. I mean, if he gets absolutely anything done here, it's a big win. Holding the recon for it, pops it up and over, gets it through just in time. That's a big reveal. They can't follow through. Can't get the kills. That smoke is perfect. It doesn't give him a little bit of an edge he would need to peek on in and take these fights. And he's not going to blind push it, not when there's so many angles open. So they get away with it. Revealed up, escaped, and a plant is now found. Fokus in a great spot. Better weapons. Spike planted. They can play the range, but they want to fight. They want to really tussle for this one.
Yeah, Feku's the only one to get anything here. Boo has found another, though. Already a couple of kills in this round is not bad. Anything more, and you start to worry a little bit, and Boo has actually found another kill. Rifle retrieved. He might just want to try and get out of here, but of course, there's going to be plenty of money in the next round. Oh, but it's a headshot as well, and now only Yugi left. Chance of winning the round still seems slim with just the amount of time, but he can just watch and wait to see if he can catch
2 bullets.
Yugi on the way out, or at least hold him into the spike, and I think he might have done just that. I don't think he's getting away from this one.
Mission accomplished. OG London United come out of that one very, very successfully. I think you look at the economy there, it's crushed. Fokus have to invest absolutely everything. There's nothing for free. OG London United in the same boat. This is it. All on the table. And I think, you have a few ultimates that are about to come online. In particular, though, Buha has an opportunity here. Lockdown to work with. Malsi doesn't have the Hunter's Fury. This could be a round to try and sneak it through. Especially if you hear one of those shock darts go through early. Boo is going all the way down mid. He's got the cover. Destrian watching his back, making sure they don't come out through middle. And he has caught Bong with his pants down. I had no idea.
Yeah, I think the bigger problem as well is that firstly, you've lost your smokes, but also you've lost your one point of contact on the other side of the map. Now you're going to see the lockdown thrown in. I don't think there's much on the other side unless there's going to be an incredibly impressive shock dart thrown through. One kill, though, could be a Hunter's Fury. And they're going to try and hold on to this cross. It's a bit awkward, though. Yugi is going to manage to spray down 2 players. And actually, in the back of the side... No way. No way. No way. He still gets the kill. How is that just happened?
Spike planted.
Was he? Oh, he's dead. He's dead. He's been shot in the head. Straight through the wall. Destrian in a 1v3 that somehow I think there's a 10% chance that he takes it. Not anymore though. That time ticked a little bit too far. They got all their bases covered. You can't be getting people through the wall like this, Destrian. Stop it, mate. That was a little bit disgusting out of your boy Lewis. I'm guessing that he was like baiting us, like he saw him and it was like, oh, just let him finish it off or something.
No shot.
Maybe
no
saw
shot.
the weapon be pulled up in front of him. We're gonna get it here. Let's see.
No shot. No, look, the cage completely masked it. Oh,
yeah,
it was literally the last second.
Yeah, no, it was because he took out the ping as well, so that's why he had his weapon away and everything. Okay, that is wild. There's a bit of a mixed buy for OG. Shorty on Feku does present some danger. It's up close in B main. Aggression coming through. I don't know though. You got smokes out short and A main. There's no need for them to be worried about a push. Sorry.
Yeah, that was very audacious.
I mean,
if there was some sort of push of it, or even if they were making a play where we've seen it before, where teams crunch through mid, push through B, and then Hunter's Fury just to disrupt everything.
Sure.
I don't mind it, but just doing it like that almost seems pointless. Because even if you get 1 kill, it doesn't even really matter. It's not like you got anything to back it up in this round. So, yeah, that's peculiar.
I find it hard to chalk up an explanation for that one. Strange scenario unfolding. Let's see what Hype can do. Nothing. Shut down immediately. Low HP. 1 shot needed. 1 shot needed on Boo, too. Kazillary just popping heads. This guy's on fire. They will make quick work of that. 10-7 we go.
Yeah, and then, well, it does look like we might be heading our way onto a 3rd map here. And unless there's going to be a response. Now, we're yet to see the operator in play. Or OG, which I definitely think could be somewhat of a difference maker, but there's definitely been some sort of slip-ups, some mistakes over the last couple of rounds.
30 seconds left. Flawless.
Like, even when you consider how Hype was in that scenario in the first place at the back of the site, there was either an attempt, like maybe he thought someone was going to try and destroy it, or that they just wouldn't check, but a lot of peculiar spots in these rounds. For now, though, we're going to see an instant paranoia alongside a Prowler, just almost trying to shut them out of the back. And Feku here with the operator. Again, just going to start taking that extra space, now probing in towards mid. Maybe looking for the trip, but no, it's still going to be intact.
They spotted a player outside of B main. That's why Feku's sticking around. He knows there's potentially a kill from around the corner. Focus are on their way back. Moving towards the A side. I wonder if OG are going to get a read on this. I mean, they've already stacked up pretty heavily towards the A side. That knife, though, seems to be bringing them back somewhat. Got mid-control with the trap for now. Having one player around spawn makes sense, but the other on his way back towards A. Destrian's here to support.
Ooh, okay. Already looking a little bit shaky. The spike is going to be able to make its way in towards the site. No ults to try and almost pad this round back. It's just going to come down to the firefights. And with how much is currently available for OG, if they really wanted to secure this, they could throw in the Nightfall, give them all the information. The only thing they really have to worry about is player out on shore, which they're going to check for. It's not a pretty fight, though, for Hype. Illuri's going to win that one. Nightfall through, but it doesn't actually clear under. Oh, no, it does. It clips Buha just about. And that's enough for him to fall. It looked like he was out of it. Vong, though, steps up. He's had a very quiet game, but his teammate's gone. All up to him to try and win this, and Molsey will come through when they need him most. An 8th round for OG, but still closer than I kind of expected it to be.
This was a big round for OG. They had put everything on the line. They'd invested so much, and losing this, I think map 3 was almost guaranteed. But now they've shown there's at least still a little bit of a fight in them. Focus are here to play. Fighting up right now, buying up, and not letting OG run right back into this game. But like I said, that gap is really, it's not that much. Round win here. You maybe see, I don't know, Blade Storm after as well. They probably don't eco it. There's a way back in for OG either way. And it's with Destrian having an Odin. And listen, I'm behind this. I can get with the Destrian. Show me what you got.
You're going to be forced off the angle, a change of pace. It looks like he's going to go back for it, and Yugi was waiting. The smoke's not down in time. These trips have been so good, but they get nothing. No kill off the back of it. I like these little traps that are put into play, but unfortunately, for the side of OG, they're going to be left in a spot where they have to 5 versus 4 retake.
Destrian is a good shot at taking one down below after this reload. Pop through another few bullets. Hunt go over. Try to grab a little bit of vision, and there it is. Oh, this is dangerous now. The player's being revealed down below. A quick couple of kills for OG as they try to fight their way back in. But it looks like Focus still have some fight left in them. Yugi's gone down. Down around the smoke is Boo. And he's catching one, leaving Buha alone. The off angle pays off. The time. Still a little bit left to play with, but Molsey's got to get on this fast. And it looks like he's realized Buha has won it on the clock. The round is theirs, and Focus will walk out of this with 11.
Yeah, Buha really wanting to get that final kill. Actually ends up sacrificing his own weapon for it. And I don't know how much that was worth it. I guess the finances on their side are definitely better than their opposition right now, so definitely made things a little bit more interesting. Yugi hit some nasty shots as well here. Just some fast-paced flicks that end up slowing them down enough, but 11-8. OG going to take themselves a timeout, and yeah, as said, their finances are definitely in a worse position. A buy here would have its risks about it, but it's whether or not they want to either A, play around that operator, or B, just don't want to allow their opponent to get to 12.
It's a tough decision. And again, if you have Blade Storm, sure, you go for it, but that's the security that Focus had if they lost the round. I don't think OG are in a position where they can really afford the force around it. I mean, you have to ask, how much impact can you realistically expect from that operator? There's too many chances for Focus to pull out something like a fast play that really puts a wrench in the works. You know, someone like Hype, who has the most money on the team, can't even afford to get shields and a rifle. This will be get what you can and play for that next round. Still some potential, and we've seen it time and time again where the pistols are able to come through. Where's Boo go? Okay, Boo's going down through mid, and Feku's going to take it short. All right, no contact on short. Noise heard A main. They lose A side, and I'm extremely worried. Great tag.
Yeah, good start. well, I feel like the subtlety has maybe gone a little bit from that push, but I don't know. I think Feku was never really the subtle player.
Mark one.
Tag up. I was going to say, your boy Lewis probably would have been quite frustrated there if he's the one to get taken down.
One got hit.
Still a little bit more in terms of information to be had. Might be able to get a little bit more on spam, and that's the thing. They haven't managed to find a kill yet, but they are bringing them low. The fact is, though, the kill onto Yugi might have made a difference because even low, he's still dangerous.
A little pop flash into the smoke as well. That's really nice for your boy Lewis. Kept them back completely, and he's just buying time for Buha to come up behind. Nicely handled for the first two. They won't retrieve the weapon either. This is cleaned up by Fokus, and the third map looking extremely likely at this point. The operator down, and even potentially saved over for Fokus if they want it. And it looks like they do. 12-8, 4 in a row needed for OGLU, where they'll be going to map 3.
Yeah, of course, as mentioned before, the value of this game for Fokus is more pride-based. For OG London United, the points that they could get might be enough to cement them into LCQ, and then that's for any team. That means you're not ending your season, because that's the biggest thing at the moment for a lot of squads is if you don't qualify for LCQ, your season is over until next year. And well, who knows what the future currently holds? We know that things are going to change, but just not in what way. It's also a good way to just showcase yourself individually. As said, there's going to be a lot of teams on the market looking for squads, and Fokus managing to bring this back. That might be something that they're playing for here. Either way, still got to get it over the line. As said, we've seen some strong defensive halves in the past, and in terms of the purchase, it's not a bad one. Ults, well, there is the lockdown in play, and not a lot on the other side to be able to deny it either, so maybe something they can try and put into position. Yugi, though, he's been very good at finding these openers thus far. I don't know if Destrian's got the info yet. No, well, he does now.
Costly price to pay. Recon up, clears out a lot of space for these guys. They just need to be worried about the closer corners, but they've got their flashes to make it on through. Smokes down, close in on the site. Who has quite the challenge ahead of him. Down below, great paranoia that connects, and his teammates swing on the back. 2 quick kills, a third follows up. They're actually holding strong on this side, and Feku found a second win. Your boy Lewis not gonna get away with too much. As OGLU push up to 9. They're getting close. They've got to do it in overtime. 3 more to go.
Luckily for Fokus, financially, they're still in a pretty good spot. Lockdown's still available. It's not like they threw everything into the wind over the last round, but the next one would be more damaging. A chance, if anything, for OG London United to get back up to 11. Also, they've now got a Hunter's Fury, Bladestorm not far away.
Goes there.
Even Nightfall is within their grasp as well. However, the same could be said for your boy Lewis. He's actually not going to go for the orb. I thought he'd take it and maybe get the null command. It seems like they're really looking for that pace. He got tagged so desperately low. We've seen so many spams attempted through that wall. It would have got him instead, actually. Again, we just see the impact of these support players. Those darts, those reveals. And well, even the Hunter's Fury.
I think that might have been what revealed him. Was it the first pulse of the Hunter's Fury? It caught him just as he was falling back through the smoke. He's revealed. I mean, this is huge. OG London United in a great spot. They've got to deal with this lockdown. It could be a little bit difficult for them time-wise. They're going to actually... Oh, no, they're not diffusing it halfway. They've lost a player. Going for it while the recon's up. I feel like maybe they're a little bit too eager going in for this. Fokus of being able to pick them off on the way. Another down as Hype falls. The defuse still not even halfway. They've got to get on this. The kill there for Malsey, but they've got to defend from Hillary. And Hillary's been on point so far. Just needs to cancel it. But Feku, luckily, a little bit wider, a little bit quicker. 12-10, we go. 2 rounds left for OG London United if they're going to take this across the line. There's a real chance for them here to 2-0 it. And they're up against pistols, Tom. So it might just be the one that they have to worry about. And no Bladestorm. No Bladestorm. That's the key thing.
I will say Null Command and Hunter's Fury can still be pretty terrifying, but I would be a little surprised. Then again, we've seen a blind pop in an eco round coming out from Molsey earlier, so maybe I won't be as surprised. The way. We'll see if they can make this one at least a little costly. Buha already being spotted. But again, it's just going to be that slow-paced round. I feel like like being an OG fan, Mitch, must just be an absolute nightmare. Because I don't feel like there's a stress-free round. Like, it just doesn't seem to happen. Like, the last one, you're in a 4 versus 2. You tried to half defuse with loads of time. Yeah. FetQ, the stuff he does in pretty much all of these rounds, mental. Works a lot of the time, but mental.
I agree with you there. There's been more than enough occasions where we're looking at this guy. Oh, hold on. Are there any trap wires still down? They've already gotten rid of them. Oh, no, they haven't. Sorry. They disappear from the map. Okay. I thought they'd go light, like when he dies, but they disappear from the map. So A site. Both those traps were revealed. No one was close enough to destroy them. The impact not felt there. Malsey's just gotten his day ruined. Your boy Lewis threw in an angle. I don't know if he was not expecting it or just not ready for that amount of power to come his way.
The one player you'd want to actually have within the site, and he's trapped. So if anything, Destrian, if it had been on anyone else, what? This is what I'm talking about. Like, what? Why? Why did he even have his Blade Storm popped? Let's ask that question for starters.
I got spikes down in B main. Like, all right, I'm gonna updraft onto B site and get this last guy real quick. Love it, love it.
It's just stressful. It's just actually stressful.
I think he might have hit it right as Vong was initially swinging, so as he was getting to the site. So there were still, I think, 3 opponents left as he pressed the button or like a second before he did. So I think that's kind of understandable why he used it. But certainly would have rather have it through for another round. Either way, he's on his way to farming it up. Yugi's down right away.
Yeah, Yugi being dead is definitely a bit of a worry. We're going to see the instant pop in towards this site. Both ults being utilized. Oh dear, oh dear. Your boy Lewis straight down. There might be a... Oh no. Oh no, not this again. 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 The stupid... We need separate buttons. Give me separate buttons for that. Oh, thankfully he actually had enough time to be able to get the res off. For anybody who doesn't know, he couldn't close the door because it would automatically start rezzing his teammate.
Well, a lot of information about to be taken out of their hands. Nobody can hear a damn thing. These players being pushed on, Decade on, Hillary down right away. That nade's gonna fade, and they're gonna look to blitz into the site, but splitting first, bringing in players from heaven. Noise being made, but it doesn't matter. Hype and Destrian both fall. This could be it. Fokus could take it across the line. Boo is down. It's all on FetQ. He's gonna pull out this Sheriff, and I bet he wishes he had a Blade Storm to work with right about
where
now.
They all are.
Looking to dive down below. Operator in hand. 3 opponents to take down, and they will give him no chance, no quarter. We're going to map number 3. Fracture is inevitable at this point, Tom. What a close game it was, though. It was within reach.
Yeah, they've got to feel a little hard done by getting the opening pick, even getting Lewis onto the floor as well. Like, that was basically a 3 versus 5, and it ended up so ridiculously close, but it is going to be Fokus taking it over the line. One more chance to get themselves that win, a single win. They don't want to do the big of last season and basically not get anything over the line. Sorry, Zesh, once again. But I'm sure there's going to be a very, very happy man on the desk because he said the last map was absolute fluke. And, you know, this was a decisive win, Mitch. So Lothar must be over the moon.
I'm sure he is. I'm sure he's going to have a great time. Let's find out how our man Lothar is doing and get it over to the analyst desk right after this break.
Dare to challenge yourself. Who's next?
Red Bull gives you wings.
Who's next?
You thought it was over, didn't you? Maybe at one point you thought that your night was over. It absolutely isn't. Welcome back to VCT Emea Challenges, Play Day 2 of Week 5. We've still got one map to go. Fokus and OG are taking us the distance. And I know one man who's very happy about that. Our analysts today, we have Fokus fan Lothar, and we have the OG fan Kakuka for one night only. Lothar, you're back in the mix. You said that map 1 was a fluke, and here you are going to Fracture.
We got unlucky on map one, you know, and I was right, you know, second map, we got a little bit unlucky as well. We were actually losing in First Bloods, and yet we win 13-11. Easy, you know, easy, and I have to check my stats. Yeah, OG couldn't convert 5 out of 9 5v4 rounds.
You're going there.
It's very obvious. It's very obvious.
He's going
that the cracks are showing.
Yeah, I mean, I have to say that the trades actually went your way. I'm just gonna put it like that. You actually came on top on that play. But let's think of this, okay? Let's talk about the executes, about the combining utility that we were talking about, and also think of the fact that I think Yugi was having a great day, especially on the defense, and you only have that paranoia as an actual flash to avoid him, and you would have to invest a drone if you want them to have a bad time. So on the attack, I think that actually Fokus did a good job. Sorry, on the defense, I think that they did a good job.
Wait, what? Aren't you OG?
That was
Just
a
on
compliment.
one half. Just
Hey.
on one half.
Take the compliment, all right?
Yeah.
I'm
I
suspecting
mean, just
foul
because
play.
I'm a fan, I
you
don't
know?
mean I hate you.
I'm just suspecting foul play because she's setting me for a trap or something, you know, or expects that now we're gonna talk up OG a little bit, and I have to do it. So when it comes to OG, I would say there were some moments of brilliance when it comes to combining utility. The Fade Sova combo is very powerful. We have seen a lot of interesting stuff that was being done by OG, and in general, I would say that division control that OG presented, combining with the Cypher that we have seen with the traps, with the camera, like there was a lot of setups, especially specifically on A side, where us, Fokus, had a big problem with entering side because we were dying through smokes. And that was unlucky, you know, but they saw for smokes cheating. I call foul play, you know?
You know what? You two agree, and I know you agreed a bit there. I prefer it much more when you're not getting along. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to split you up again, Lothar. Get yourself in the corner. What do you reckon?
Oh, yeah, sure. I'm going to go. I mean, not going to lie, I wouldn't mind the second of those because this is a long series, you know? But
54 minutes.
yeah, well, okay then. So let's jump into the clip. This is the retake attempt from Fokus when it comes to going into B side, and you can think like, oh, this Killjoy lockdown, it's not the best, and I was like, yeah, it's not the best because I'm gonna then zoom in on the minimap here. Look at the range of this Killjoy lockdown, right? It doesn't really do much. What it did was make sure that players that were closer to market had to fall back, and because of that the retake had a little bit more space. But the problem is that alongside this retake lockdown, there's still one piece of utility, key piece of utility on long, and that's the paranoia. And unfortunately, I thought that because the paranoia is able to catch few people towards in one place, I thought that the paranoia is gonna get used on this area as soon as possible when the lockdown was still, like, let's say before explosion. But towards the entire retake, that paranoia was not used, and I feel like it was one of the main reasons why this retake wasn't as efficient as it should be, because the space gathered by the lockdown wasn't efficient, then the paranoia wasn't used, and because of that, Wronghander had really hard time. Look, the entire kit is essentially just not used because the paranoia is still out there, and then kill through the smoke because most will, has cheat codes, and it's essentially it. But I would say that in general there was a lot of moments like this where the game felt like, okay, we have pieces of utility that can counter each other. Why do we have a mic?
He's trying to sing a song.
You're drawing attention to this mic. I've had a microphone malfunction, so I just picked up the stick.
I was like, okay, maybe there's a running joke
I might sing
or
a song.
something.
You never know. I feel like when
It's your moment.
No, I'm not doing that.
Listen,
production did tell me absolutely not, and I was never going to do that. Kakuka, any response to?
No. I just want to say that Chambers actually shared a moment with us before going here. He actually said he was a rapper, and his nickname was Double I.
Are we doing this? We're not doing this. All right. We're going to move on to Fracture next. Who is going to get the job done in our final map of Playday 2?
Obviously, it's going to be OG, and I am going to tell you exactly why. Fokus got here onto VCT, having this map as one of their home grounds. They thought that they were going to perform incredibly, just as they did in promotion. Now, the first time against you two, pretty close, okay? But 2 weeks ago, they got 13-1 against FPX.
Fluke.
Being in the receiving. Yeah. I'm sure
Also,
that FPX got 13 rounds of pure luck.
You know, it was FPX, pretty good team. You know, it was pretty tough. But we are pretty good on Fracture. We had some really cool setups and like set plays when it comes to utility. And I feel like OG is not gonna even know what hit them.
Okay, how about this? This is the map where OG closed the series against G2. And not only that, they lost both pistols and they still won.
Well, that's
I'm not
like,
gonna save it, but your strats.
that's like that's like 25% success rates. I would say just got lucky.
Just for the record, as we get set to get into Agent Select here, Lothar, of course, for Focus, you guys are just playing for pride and hoping to get a dub on the board. But for you, Kakuka, and OG, there is something very important at stake.
If we are to win on this map, we are locked in for LCQ and we will be competing to try and get onto champions. So even though we're not going to make it to playoffs, there's still that chance for fighting it in August for that last chance on qualifying to champions.
Good luck. Anyway.
Yeah, we get a lot of that apparently.
yes.
Oh, Vong is actually gonna
here. Wait, what are those? I'm not sure if I like the...
Oh, he saw Soulcast. He's magnificent on this map, and I think it adds on to the double duelist. I have to go, give you the reason there.
That is actually very interesting because I thought that Brimstone actually fits double duelist more because of the Steam Beacon. Steam Beacon is actually working together with Neon's sprint.
Yeah.
So she's even faster, and it also gives more momentum to Lewis's satchels here. So that is like a lot of synergy, but maybe it was too much in their eyes, and they needed a little bit more global presence to make sure that that utility would be more useful for the agents that are far away from the rest of the team.
I think especially on a map like Fracture, the stars make a lot of sense with all the things that you can do with them, of how you can fake maybe at the beginning of the round just like that, and there's retrieving them before you have to activate the cooldown. I think that there's many things, and also we've seen how the ultimate has been used on this map. I think it could be very effective. I'm still not on your side though.
All right, well, fun to the side for a second, right? We cannot deny that this has been an exciting back and forth series. So one more time, Tom and Mitch, we need you to lend us your voices and take us through this final map on Fracture. Focus, OG, who's taking it?
Well, man, you know what, Tom? Straight away, I just love the vibes. I feel like I'm on the Eurovision, with these, like, you got the handheld mic in there, and 10 points to, it was just so, I love it, Ian. Honestly, if you don't break out into a rendition of Country Road, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah. Can he also give us his, like, background sob story when we get back? Like, I'm Ian. I'm 23, and I really wanted to be a vet, but one day my finger got broken, so now I'm singing. Like that's what I imagine.
Finger got broken. That's what.
Yeah, but he was a vet,
him.
so like,
Famously, if you break your finger in the vet industry, it's ruthless. It's over.
Like,
it's just done. Well, Tom, look, I've heard we're getting back into the game. Been going quite a while for both of these teams. Not quite the extent of the previous games, when I had a little bit more pace to it. We're going to end up here on Fracture to decide. And remember, for Focus, it's pride. For OG, it's potentially survival in the VCT. Implications moving on into the last chance qualifier later on, and that's certainly somewhere they want to be. This series means a lot to them. We'll see them on the attack side. Looking to take a little bit of pressure towards Dish. Plenty of players here, though, on Focus's side. Yugi to find the first, but he'll fade back after being stunned. Sadly, your boy Lewis didn't have the same chance.
It just wasn't fast enough. And a wise man once said, gotta go fast. Either way, we are going to have still that pressure being put onto Dish. Normally a point of the map doesn't come under massive contention, but Yugi's going to spot them for a second time. Interestingly, Vong actually playing over on this A site. A lot of the time, well, I say a lot of the time, I'm just thinking of Sugar Zero, I'll be honest. Like, when I think of Astra on this map, sure, there's other players. Soulcast has played it quite a bit, but Sugar Zero is the one that really springs to mind, and a lot of the time he's on B. But I guess they technically, being on this defense as well, it gives them kind of a double sentinel route, which will be quite tough to actually break down, alongside having a fair amount of utility. Now, OG London United might be looking like they're having a fun time on the zip line, but they're running out of time on the clock.
30 seconds left.
30 seconds left as they look to move on in towards this A site. Focus. I'm not too sure that they're ready for this per se. They have got a player watching drop, so you're only really going to have Vong to take this initial fight, and I think he's about to peek for info. There we go, plenty. 3 players spotted. The stun hit him, though. 10 seconds left. Player walled out. Vong's got to go huge on the site. 2 kills as he dances around the pillar. Absolutely destroying them. 1-0 for Focus. My God, they did everything right, Tom. They just couldn't get him dead. Couldn't kill him. Couldn't deal with him.
Get him dead. Well, it's a good... Honestly, can we just give Mitch the telestrators from now on? He has such a way with words.
My favorite
Well, the problem in this round from OG London United is that they couldn't get him dead.
They just couldn't get him dead. I remember Dog the Bounty Hunter pulled out that epic line. It was, you could have killed someone dead. It's like, oh, dead, the dead one. Oh, that's real bad.
As opposed to killing someone alive, of course.
Naturally, which happens, yeah, I mean, just far too frequently.
Nowadays. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Maybe maybe a little, you get a kill and then you res someone. There you go. I've
killed
tied it back into the game.
There you go. OG spread the blanket here again, looking for any pushes. I like it 2-2-1 drop solo hold by Hype. Everybody else looking to group up and take some of these fights. Hold the control, hold for pushes. Again, though, in this round, how likely is it that a team like Focus decides to get hyper aggressive? It's really not. If anything, you're going to have like one angle pushed, and you can see that was a main, and even then it was very passive.
Well, again, it looks like they're going to switch up their move in towards this A site. The setup. Well, I think that might have been heard. In fact, they're going to start the rotation now. I feel like they've given away the game a little bit there. Already setting up the utility. You can see the stars even going to go down with 20 seconds left. They're just going to have to run out of it and almost hope that they can pull off a miracle here. Already, Booher at the back of the site. Shutting one down, couple as well. Just trying to farm up that all-important ultimate. The neural theft, and as if he was being caught by that last piece of utility right at the end of the round.
The 1 kill, and that's all you'll get. Bong didn't manage to pick up the... I think there was a Spectre down, right? Oh, he did, actually. Just the UI didn't update, so there we go. He's actually grabbed that little Spectre. I believe he's got a Sheriff to give over to Yugi, and or Illury, excuse me. So you end up in this very nice position in terms of the weaponry that Focus are bringing to the table. I think there's even, like, there's some potential here for, like, a shotgun or something to come out, just to bridge the gap on some of these angles. But they're going to play with what they've got. Either way, 2-0 as a power-up round comes into play. OG London United having the rifles now. And this is one of the most passive setups that we're going to see out of a team on Fracture. 4 players north side, and they are all tucked on different corners, waiting to egg-zag off the back of flashes. But again, nobody on Focus overextends. They go for early push, and then they fall back.
Yeah, it looks like they're just opting to try and farm up a few ult orbs here and there, which obviously has its value. I heard Danger recently talking about the potential of Phoenix on this map, just because you could technically have 2 ults in 3 rounds, which it sounds kind of manic, but it also sounds kind of fun. Either way, just going to be instant kills coming in from Mozzie. Now, bear in mind, he's always someone that puts up those numbers on the attack, but now playing this Raze, he actually has the role for it as well.
Yugi won't be doing too much. His role all about pacing and getting in to the fight. I think this time, though, it's going to be more about getting out of the fight, getting away from these players, saving this rifle. And it's most likely the intention for Focus, but any damage that he could get, worth its weight in gold. Oglu, not in the best of spots. Obviously, with everybody invested in this 3rd round, having full rifles, even 1 player dropped, and it's going to have that ripple effect economy. But I think saving that Vandal has its value for Yugi. A little bit of above just diving into the rest of these players and losing the rifle. So gets out, saves it to the next. Plenty of cash to drop over a teammate. They can get an op, I think, off the back of it as well. So you are you're really happy if you're on Fokus with how that round went, I guess. Would have liked to have some kills though. That's the only thing. They really didn't have the weaponry for it.
So he's still going to be using the operator. Now, of course, there's still going to be those sort of explosive hits when it comes down to the attacking side, but I'm curious. I guess he can almost use the stuns as an escape mechanism, and if I've learned anything from Yumpy, it's that there is no agent you cannot use the operator on. It definitely doesn't have the same sort of instant mechanic that you get with, say, for example, a chamber, which I think would definitely have a bit more value on this defensive side, but it means he has to be a bit more careful. In fact, they're even going to play with Buha alongside him just to make sure that they don't just surrender that op.
Your boy Lewis making a very risky play here. No stun on Illury, no util used, and he's actually heard running back. Gonna cage him off. Now look to even face him. They know that he's around this area. They're even pre-firing it on the way through. The wall's going to cover it off, so they don't even need to worry about Illury. They got a plan.
Spike planted.
And all the control they could possibly want to go with that, still with a trap wire outside of B, covering their flank pretty much completely unless someone comes across those ropes. And they can't, because they can't get up there on the north side either. So there's... they know everybody's contained and has to push through this choke point. I really don't see a way that they lose this on the attack side. Yep, and Fokus don't see a way they win.
Yeah, maybe try and lock a few of the players in, but it seems like they're much more interested in holding on to that extra weaponry. Still, well, I was going to say a few players with some extra cash, but Buha was one of them. I think holding onto that gun definitely had more value, but again, just trying to do that extra little bit of damage. Everyone else is going to escape fairly comfortably, and Yugi will be holding on to that operator into the next round. The thing is though, like, I understand the idea of what Fokus went for. Like the fake smoke from Vong was basically the polar opposite to what he attempted in the round before. So it was like, last round we stuck the smoke, you had to play through it. So now we fake the smoke so that then someone can jump up and take a risky play that could catch you off guard because of that. The problem is it was so all in. Like it was basically, he has to get a kill and get away, or he has to get a kill and then his teammate has to get a kill, and so it's still an advantageous trade. Instead, they gave up a large portion of the map and then lost the one they were fighting for.
Certainly something they can learn from moving forward.
Right here.
I think right now the main glaring issue for Fokus, they've had these rounds where OG are giving them a lot of space and they've taken it and they've had their orbs and they've been farming up and things have looked great. But when it comes to those retakes, when it comes to the side holds, it seemed very easy for OG to put them in a box and figure out what they were doing. You saw even in how that initial fight went down on A, where they take Vong, they immediately know where Illury is. They've already got the utility in place to deal with him. The wall goes up. They've got north and south side covered with these same traps we see here. All of the information was there for this attack side to play with, and that's a big problem for Fokus if you're going to constantly be that readable on, you know, the angles you're playing, the rotations that you're making happen. You know, it's still very early days. An early little hiccup. Hello, Buha, looking everywhere and gets showstopper.
Ooh, okay.
30
And actually going to be able to clear out the corner. Did they catch Boo back on the cross? No. And they don't really have... Actually, no, they have the nade. Never mind. And they can stun him at the same time. Boo has to be dead here. Wonderful little combination coming out of Fokus. I love it. They basically forced him into that corner. Now with an operator, a rifle, and they still have a showstopper of their own.
It's committed. Oh, it's right on top of Hype. Nade up as well. Oh, nade down. That's a little unfortunate. Stun does land though, and oh, Destrian!
Nice.
He does well to land that shot. He's going to try fake that he's fallen out right back into the fight, but he's taken down. And tanking it.
Player standing.
Full tanked it halfway now. Almost got it, but around the corner!
He defused it. He defused it. That must have been within like a split second's notice, but he did defuse it. That's ridiculous. I'm not gonna lie to you. I had to use the HUD there. I had absolutely no idea whether or not he'd managed to stick it or not, but that's unbelievable. I love it as well. Iluri just tanks it for the team, and that is on the line. On the line, he gets headshot. It's still a costly round, but bear in mind, that wasn't a buy for Focus. They were ready to lose all of their weaponry.
They had the 3 rifles, I think, at one point, and altogether, that's a great result for a round where you've got 3 rifles. They would have been happy with the damage that they'd already put into play, let alone where they ended up taking it to. So Yugi on contact. A little bit of damage dished out already, but Feku's there to punish him. Hey, main control. Not yet theirs, though. Focus are not giving this up. In fact, they're doubling down. They had another player in Buhe here. They've rotated your boy Lewis in to have the raise util ready to exec.
I know exactly.
And it looks like they've decided to fall back and play behind these trap wires.
Cage trigger.
Decent stun. Liking some of these combos being attempted, but your boy Lewis, it's like the combos work so well. The risky peeks don't, not for him at least, but they do work for Bua. His teammate's gone. It looks like he's going to have the lion's share of the work to do. Iluri still to make his presence onto the site. And actually, again, it's an aftershock to deny the plant and force them back.
Off your feet!
Rolling Thunder coming through. Buha just about avoids it, but he's not ready for the flank by Hype. Iluri left alone. Not much to play with. And too many opponents to take down. The time against him. The rifle in his hand, so valuable. It's going to be dropped. Thank you. Having a fantastic round on this breach, and 3-3 we go. The scoreline tied up. But the thing is, Focus didn't have the funds to fall back on. And so that lead's likely to find its way into OG's hands.
Yeah, for Feku, of course, he's done so much damage in the last round, like managing to basically kill off both players in that 1 versus 2, even though the spike was defused. Their money's as in the bin as it could be. Get reset off actually winning a round and then losing one straight back. So, yeah, it's a tough one. Yugi maybe being able to get an ult orb here, play for the overdrive. As said, it's not the greatest ultimate in the world, but it has its moments, and it's definitely better than nothing.
The B side is theirs at practically no cost.
Spike planted.
Focus only now making it towards this north side, caught on their way through as well, detected. But I don't think OG will know it's all 5. Certainly in a round like this, you'll suspect it. The old pop Yugi, good for 1. His teammates now coming through to trade. Good flash. Malsi, though, he's popping blast packs on his way back, keeping these opponents out of his way. Oh, wow. I don't know what that was from Malsi. It seemed like he was blinded up, running and gunning and taking 2 heads. Hype is left, or sorry, Boo has left alone as Hype falls.
That was the Lothar lucky round.
Yeah, that was something else.
Sponsored, of course. Sponsored by Lothar, for anybody who didn't know.
He's paid millions for this.
But yeah, this is about what you could expect from an overdrive. Like, it's definitely one of those ults I don't mind seeing just thrown in. Got them a little bit of space, but yeah, this was about as lucky as it can get, if I'm being honest. Like, to get both kills there. Like, 1, okay, I could understand. And Focus are actually going to take a timeout here. Maybe feeling they could have done a little more so far on their defensive side. Of course, this is where they will be investing once again. I do think that when we see them actually play into their retakes, they look a lot better. Like, I'm absolutely fine with them having a few aggressive combos here and there, but their retakes look really strong because they actually were able to put their utility to use together. Whereas when it's more isolated, like, that's where you see some of the slip-ups, like your boy Lewis being caught out a couple of times, and just either, like, for example, you've had Allura using Aftershocks. The only round it had success was when they were playing retake and their whole team was together. In the other rounds, it's like, oh no, I've had to move my plant.
That's a little bit inconvenient for me.
Yeah,
oh,
you've
never
got no
mind,
other utility because everyone else is dead.
That goes dead.
Yeah, I think that this round here decides a lot. Focus. They have the Rolling Thunder to work with. Gotta be careful about some of these early fights. When OG are running around with a res, I'll be more than happy to take individual duels and try to push 50-50s. There's not going to be a ton of presence given away at the start. Eventually, though, OG start to make a move in towards B, flash in, starting to creep up.
Right there. Right there.
I think a lot of this is going to come down to the decision-making on whether this Rolling Thunder goes out or not. They've tapped the orb. Hillary still going to be throwing it through the patience.
There's no one to play off of it. I think that's why he's holding it, because no one can really do anything. Like, he can deny them here. Oh, he's been pushed into the aftershock. I think that was by his own teammates' blast pack. That would have been a nightmare. But again, they've slowed them down. That's about it. The same execution can come in. It's allowed for the rotation, but with the res in play, it doesn't really make a difference. Oh no! No one's checking for your boy Lewis. No one's watching or just running onto the site.
Player standing.
It's not like it's an unpredictable angle. That's put them in a bit of an awkward spot. Oh, feck you. He can't win the fight against Yugi. The wall gets in the way. That's got to be crushing, man. He's just stood there in the open, farming for days.
It's not even like he missed 3 bullets and still no one seemed to really react. Like, I don't know, especially when that's your own wall. I expect you to know the angles around it. Like that's the issue I have there, is if you place a wall and then someone kills you over the top of your wall without boosting up, without getting on top of a position, I can't really accept that as a mistake.
Certainly not one I expect to see happening again. I would be shocked. Oh! Your boy Lewis absolutely dominating in these fights. This looks like an eco. They had weapons, Tom. Your boy Lewis has just single-handedly mowed them down.
Yeah, no, I'm maybe getting a little bit of confidence off the last. Definitely not what you wanted to do. Give the man a few free kills. Well, he's going to take the next ones without really asking. Does eventually go down to height, but this is not a good position to try and fight back from. And now it's left all on pedestrian. The ability to take the spike might be there, but at this point, I don't know if there's a massive amount of value in that.
30 seconds left.
I don't even know what Destrian's best case scenario is here. I mean, he's just doing right by tucking in. 20 seconds, wants to creep on. Do a little bit of damage, get this round over with, and there it is. 5-4. It's been a very back and forth series. A very hard one to pin from the get-go. And I guess, considering the level both of these teams have hit, we knew that it really depends, first of all, on form they show up on the day. There was a reality where either one of these teams could come out of it with a dominant 2-0, you know, based on the form that we've seen out of both. But Fokus have been consistently that team that challenged the top. They haven't really let me down that much. And I feel like, despite the fact of not having a win, it's a funny thing to say, but they've had so many games they could easily have won that came so painstakingly close that I kind of sit back and I find it hard to favor OG as we move through the rounds, just because the consistency's been there.
Because right now, I'd say I think OG London United's skill ceiling is higher, but I feel like they hit the lower end of their skill ceiling much more often than Fokus. Oh no. Well, that's not the way you wanted to start the round. There was I almost feel like, if anything, he's a little bit unlucky to only get 2. I think 3 of them lined up there, but oh, even still a fantastic start. And again, it's looking like they're starting to really steamroll. Iluri, he's ready. Only going to get himself one, but that's absolutely fine. They still have the operator homed in. They're not even going to expect Vaughn. Surely not. Just playing off this. He might not even be needed. Yugi's just decided to take this into his own hands. And well, a 4K for him to close out this round. Overdrive online. And 6 on the board for Fokus.
Now we're starting to see a new face out of them. An overdrive, not likely to be the biggest of
it's not far from 3.
biggest of impact dealers. Oh, it was very close. Look, he got himself the 4K in the end, so you can be pretty happy. But a triple collat would be something to write home about for sure. 6-4, and OG have got a terrible scenario. Also, he's bought a rifle here. Showstopper back pocket, orbital strike, rolling thunder's close. But you're not going to see any of those this round, I'd imagine.
Yeah, definitely now. Honestly, since getting that 3K, your boy Lewis is a different player. It's not even the same person anymore.
Yeah.
The last few rounds, okay, not the one where Yugi killed everybody, but he has been an absolute menace. And they're starting to take liberties across the map. Oh, okay, never mind. I guess he's doing the quick switch. It's like the old AWP CZ switch that people used to do. And for anybody who's only started watching esports in the last 5 years, you have no idea what I'm talking about.
I was right about when I joined CS. The CZ was.
Do you remember Oh, it was powerful then, but then it got nerfed to oblivion. Well, yeah, no, it was still good, but just not when you had an AWP.
I'll tell you,
it took you 17 minutes to rebuild the gun.
I'll tell you what happened. I bought my first skin, which was a CZ spiderweb one, black and red.
Okay.
Stat track.
Watching this spot.
And I was in school, so it was any investment was most of my money. And then they nerfed it like a few weeks later, and so I lost all my money.
Oh, okay. Booha is only gonna get 2. I was seeing a world again where it's gonna be another multi-frag. Plant.
Orbital strike.
They do have an orbital strike. Now, weirdly, I don't think we've seen that much throughout this entire half, but maybe it can be the difference maker here.
So orbital strike, molly, and a slow. This is kind of huge.
Yeah.
Oh no!
Oh no, never mind. You got none of it. Okay. All irrelevant. Forget everything we just said. There's now Boo. Well, if he gets 2 kills, he can res, but I think by that point, he's going to be looking to try and do it all on his own. They've also just popped the overdrive, so the space that can be taken here by Yugi is going to make it difficult. Nice shot on the first couple. Stun going to be in. He needs the headshot, and well, it's the overdrive that ends up doing the damage. It's normally good for at least 1 kill, and luckily, there was only 1 man left.
Yeah, it's the combo with the stun as well. It just makes it impossible to respond. And this player is swinging around like crazy, moving all over your screen, and you've got no rate of fire. No accuracy, it's kind of hell. 8-4, fantastic stuff. I think that's a very good half out of Fokus, especially towards the end, building up all of that momentum, looking like a much better team. They've got the wind in their sails. This pistol, though, where momentum can definitely change hands. We'll see if the defense has something up their sleeves. A lot of combos here, Tom, that you're going to have to be worried about as Fokus pushing into these sites, because you're not going to see as much space taking out of OG necessarily on that defensive side as you will with like your boy Lewis and Yugi running around dueling, but when you take map control, they can punish with a lot more power.
It's actually interesting looking at some of the investments we've got going into utility. Like, one of the things I always really enjoyed watching BBL was the pistol investment into the fast lane. And I think it's not the most valuable piece of utility in a lot of scenarios, but I think in pistols it's great for just taking space, especially on B. So I want to see how Yugi's actually going to utilize his stuns to invest into that piece of utility instead. Nice flash, Illuri down. Booha's still here and fighting, but Hype comes out with 2, and actually Boo's found another.
Great damage. Those duels not really showing any cracks on the side of OG. Now they got to fight back into the site. So Vong and Yugi, 2 big performers for this Fokus side. Definitely not the easiest of players to retake against.
Remember the last pistol?
Mm-hmm. Making a lot of noise here. Like 3 players running north side. That's heard plain as day. And it seems to be Yugi that's here to deal with it. He's inside the smoke. And he's going to look to come right on out. Blitz to the site. The spike's right in front of him, but there's 2 players watching as he emerges. He still gets 2. That is outrageous. Boo's the last man alive. Spike's not actually planted for Vong, but he still wins it. Come on, man. We foreshadowed it, but it's still surreal to watch it unfold like that.
Yeah, it seems like the penny just dropped a split second too late, because you can see just as he pushes, they go, if he was in that smoke, that would be a really big, ah! That's how I imagine they reacted. But yeah, Vong again, I feel like he's just so calm and collected. And think about it. He's had 2 kills in that pistol, 4 kills in the last pistol. He's had 1 kill the rest of the game. But honestly, that's impact for you.
Vong has been relatively quiet. He's been one of the more impressive players for me starting out on this Focus roster. And so in this series, seeing them get it done without him there as well, it shows the extra little bit of depth.
He's also on Astra. I feel like it's very dependent how you play an Astra. Like with Soulcast, a lot of the time it's a lurk. With him, it seems like a lot of the stuff they're doing revolves around his setups. Like his smokes had impact for sure in the previous half with just delaying takes. And I think that's it's almost like he's like playing the game of chess with his teammates. Like, I'm going to put this down to put you into play. Nice start from Destrian there, especially just a classic. Like, he doesn't even get traded out.
Yeah, they had a lot of utility thrown at these players. But that kill, it doesn't net a whole lot. They don't even continue forward to grab the weapon, so you're in a spot now. Pistol's coming back in, but they've gotten to the B site before their opponents. Then their opponents just went back. So that's on lookout. Oh, hold on. They're now going back. And now Focus are going back.
1 dead.
30 seconds left.
This is a push and pull round. This is like the triple fake has now been sold by Illury. Yep, look, hey, we're here. We're going to cross the site. And now Illury can rotate. They should have B. Just got to deal with Boo here. And okay, good kill.
He just used
12 seconds. 10 seconds. No plan. It's coming in now.
Oh dear, oh dear. Real chance in this round. It shouldn't have been. But again, it's just this man. Always seems to get 2. No! Illury! Oh, he could just defuse. All he has to do is just stay there. The boom boss said you're going to stop him from... Oh.
Yeah, I feel that pain too, Tom.
I really hate it here.
That was something. That was a thing happened there, and I didn't enjoy watching it. Boo on site, inside the fast lane. I mean, using their utility against them, fantastic stuff. I just gotta clear that.
I said that like Yugi, I like seeing the investment into the fast lane and pistols.
Oh, you love it, yeah.
Yeah, and it's not pistols anymore. I take it back. Just oh, that doesn't look good. Brimstone in. I think that's how I look right now after that round. Just face melting a bit. This wall is actually pretty interesting. It's something that's been placed in the majority of rounds from Boo, and it's just quite annoying because they can also, I believe, get on top of it from the angle that they're at. So you have to be very wary of it for the majority of the round. Otherwise, you could, well, you can't take this angle, but also he could, like, I think in the first round at least, he jumped on top of it or boosts himself up. So here we go, though. Into overdrive.
Be on top of the box later on as well. Run across it. Here we go. Overdrive up close. Catch and hide. O's in the space. Looking for a player up above. Shockwave goes through and down you go, Malsi. Down and out of that round. Another falls at the hands of Yugi. 40 HP left. Fast lane up. Cross the site and they have got themselves a plan.
Yeah, so as I said, not really the most impactful in the world.
Yeah, to be honest, this Neon just
he's
crashed.
gonna get it.
I don't know why Yugi even plays this agent. It's just a trash pickup, to be honest. It's unreal. Watching this guy just run around.
Back to my previous statement of I hate it here.
He is 24-5.
Yeah, this is the version of Yugi I wanted to see. And I won't lie, it made a lot more sense if he did something like this on like a Jet, because I feel like on this agent, basically your role on defense is to run in and try and find kills, and your role on attack is to run in and try and find kills, and he has died 5 times.
I'm not sure that
And
this is, just real quick, I don't think this is the power-up round, because, you know, there's 3 pistols, which are, I mean, all classics. So that's
Depends
a
who's powering up.
pretty shit power-up, if I'm being honest.
Maybe, you know,
Not great.
maybe Focus are going to power up their orbs.
It could be, Tom. It
See?
could also not be. But they have got 2
Yeah.
rifles. They've got something to fight with on the defensive side. So this will be tough for them to even choose the fight that they get to take. I mean, stacking up and taking the duels is the best way to go. And they've decided to push all the way through A. Stack up B. Now they're going back on A, but now back up on B. Back and forth we go. They've decided that this is a B hit. They're going to crunch. I think they should at least get Buha here. Like, he's trapped.
Oh, I guess they're going to leave him trapped. The thing is, there is a cam. Now, that cam,
30
if
seconds
already,
left.
yeah, it's already popped. Okay, so that's all the information they could possibly need. The thing is, though, there's absolutely no one here, but the rotation will come in relatively quick. Molsey might actually be there on time. Your boy Lewis has already taken the space. Hype has nothing really to lose, so he's going to try and just push in and almost gets the damage done. Nade might even finish him off, and Boo's now found another one with a pistol.
That was Buha trying to late lurk through B, so Boo's got himself a rifle. They can wait and try to blitz in on this together. 3 rifles in hands, but they barely need to. There's only Hillary left. They'll find one quickly. Remember, not many of these players even having shields. So a good chance if Hillary can force this fight in his favor, but Feku deals with him quickly. Gets this round on the board for OG. They've got
What a
6.
power-up round.
Yeah, you know what? I've got egg on my face now, don't I?
Thrifty.
My bad. My bad. I mean, Boo got a kill. So he literally sat on B site for the entire round, and Buha slowly pushed up, heard the rotations from the other team, heard the guys behind him rotate back. He was
And then
like,
lost the 1v1
right,
to a classic.
everybody is gone. I'm going to run and rotate quickly behind them. Boo heard him, just lined it up, and I think just tapped him. Just tap, tap, tap. Guy was facing the other way with his knife out. As easy as can be.
What did he do? What was it he did?
Little tap, 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 just like that.
Okay.
Like that, Tom.
And he was getting further away as he did it.
Yes, sir. Tap, tap. Obviously, because, you know, he was running with his knife out. I told you that.
Oh, it's nice from Bong. As I said, he's been quiet for the majority of the game based on his role, but having a couple of high-impact rounds and with the scoreline ever edging in their favor, this now becomes an incredibly good spot. 3v5. Okay, Yugi's low, but he's playing that operator anyway. Rolling Thunder and Rez. The problem is, those 2 players died in horrific positions.
1 minute on the clock. I almost feel like Fokus are hoping that OG push forward to try and take this space, grab the res, put the body back online. And I think they are. But they want to do that off contact of a plant on A or something like that. And they'd go for it. And boy Lewis trying to destroy any sort of Cypher util that could be waiting for them. Clear out the space, get them that little bit of runway. Who's under pressure? Going to be pushed back behind the wall. And, well, this is going to be a convincing enough take. I don't think Fokus have anything that can slow them down.
No, a lot of the time, like, you might have a bit of utility. Oh, they're actually going to use the Rolling Thunder and try and play off of it. I don't think it connected onto some of the players, though, so it's caused a bit of an issue, and they're still going to get the plant down, so, yeah, it definitely didn't work in the manner in which they hoped. In fact, it seemed like some of the players weren't even ready to make a play off of that.
Yeah,
I've seen that a couple of times now.
I definitely felt like a whim, and Fokus were so spread out that I don't think any Rolling Thunder could have caught them all to the point that they couldn't even move out of it. From where they were. So there was always going to be 1 or 2 players ready to punish on that, somewhere even closer to the Rolling Thunder on the other side of that astral wall than you would have liked. So there were so many different things going against them there. It's no surprise it didn't end up going their way. Fokus walk out with 11 on the board. Very strong round out of them. Quick, pacey, and punishing the early aggression of OG, not letting the res come through and burning up the Rolling Thunder. Now just 2 away from victory. This is a big position for Fokus to play from, and as we said, this game very much just pride for Fokus. They are locked out of playoffs. They're not going through. They're not making LCQ. OG, though, they have a chance. The chance kind of ends if they lose this one here, though, I believe.
Yeah, I think even going forward, though, it's like this team had higher expectations than just making it into VCT. Like, they've seen, like, I think, I can't remember who it was. It might have been Bua tweeting that. It was like, yeah, I'm really disappointed with how things have been going. And it's like, I think a lot of us have those lower expectations, but they don't have them for themselves. So even if it means coming in the future and just, like, having in the back of your mind that a lot less pressure, because I feel like that was something Big had for a long time, of that pressure of getting your first win and losing 8 in a row, well, hopefully they'll do it in half the time.
Still so much to play with for OG. As we said before, the orbital strike, the res. And try to play a retake on a site with it. They've got their advanced wall down in A, but Fokus are more than happy to pump the brakes, play late into one of these sites. They don't seem to mind at all. They'll let that wall just dissipate, let it break. Now they look to start pushing forward and taking some of this space back. OG have rotated correctly, though, Tom. They got 4 players towards A.
Yeah, this is a decent stack up. More targets for sure. Rolling Thunder. I don't think it connected onto anyone, actually. They was far enough back that it didn't quite reach. Destrian, an easy kill to start. Also got that orbital strike, which is going to leave just a single corner to stand in. Bua still managing to find one, and well, everyone's dead. I think we got lost in there somewhere, but they are dead.
Yeah, that orbital strike doing work to section off the players. There were some spams coming through. It was nice and easy in the last couple seconds. Going to see Yugi just saving over. And this operator, the neon op. Never know, Tom. He could go dashing around the corner, just take some quick shots. Yin peaks, but
what do you mean dash? You mean he could go into high gear around the corner?
Oh yeah, my bad. Sorry. Yes, high gear, as everybody calls it.
Or of course, if you were talking about when you right click, that would be the electric slide.
Oh, really? I've seen you pull that out at some of the after parties.
Oh,
the electric slide.
That's
You're
why I have
famous
such
for it.
bad knees.
Well,
I want to know if there's any person in the universe who's actually said, "You just use the electric slide."
He's electric slid around that corner.
Here we go, though. Yugi trying to find an opener here, but no real angle being given. Boo again. They're just trying to be irritating, if anything. They're putting that wall down early. It's something that this time Fokus are going to spend time to break. Not allowing them to have that portion of the map locked off for any amount of time. And I feel like a lot of what they're doing here on this A site is almost just trying to sell false information. I don't know how much it's worked, though. If you see the 3 players, well, maybe one rotating. But because there's been no push, there's been no execution off the back of it, there's no reason for them to rotate off.
OGR moving towards this B site, stacking it up even heavier. They want to put more numbers in. And this is exactly the right move. The showstopper ready in the hands of Malsey. Here it comes, blitzing around and in for one. Free as can be, but your boy Lewis holding strong down below. Only the 1 kill. And it looks like this round might be canceled out. Fokus already having given up a lot of this control. They'll try to seize it back by moving to the B site, getting the plant in. Yugi wants to push, operator in hand. Not going to land the shot. He does make it out, though, staying up close, staying aggressive. It's a Yugi play, and he's going to grab one for it. Making his way down below, looking for another victim, and those shots, they come close. They don't quite find their mark. We end up with an 8th round for OG London United.
Starting to grind this one back once again. We saw it in the last map, getting ever closer, but eventually Fokus had the stones to take it across the line. Still going to be a bit more interesting financially. They do have themselves a showstopper, but it doesn't seem like they're going to invest too much into this round. Res available as well, which especially in anti-eco rounds is always going to be very good for OG, as long as Boo can get into position, which I'll be honest, a lot of the time he has been almost in solo roles. Right, which, considering his agent, I guess in more using it for that sentinel side rather than having those heals and reses available.
Well, Stone going down deep. The fast push catches a kill for Destry, and he's going to fall back. Molly going down. That's going down on the ice as well. They wanted to try to punish anybody that stuck around a little bit too long. And the north side crunch, well, they're a little bit late in getting to the party.
Right there.
Fokus have escaped with 4 players still alive, and they're going to actually get the A side for their troubles.
Yeah, unfortunately, they've kind of lost the one thing of value that they had, which was the showstopper. Something that, especially in an afterplant, it would have brought so much value, like the chance to actually do damage. Interestingly, every single member of this OG side is currently sat within the B site. So just
planted.
clearing everything out. Of course, they've been caught before by the lurk plays on the other side of the map, so just making sure that doesn't happen again. And while the info of where they're coming from is going to begin, Vong, oh, I thought for a second he might be able to get the second, but there you go. It's just going to be the res straight through in the same scenario, but worse.
In the round with pistols, coming out with the res, you know, getting them to use it up on the other side. That's just fine. A big miss, a big whiff from Buha. It could have been so much more. 2 versus 4. Players closing in towards the site. And while these sheriffs, all that stand between this round being over, and there it is. Closed out. 4 kills. 3 after the res, so hold on. Dead.
Clutch.
I do not believe
Match point.
0.1 of a second. I was already counting it as a 1 round. It looked like they had it.
It's just too slow. Oh, they realized it as well. They were just too slow of making their way through. With such a huge advantage in that round, that is a victory that I don't even think Fokus would have believed was possible. They lost the showstopper. Yeah, even still though, like that round shouldn't have even been close.
Yeah.
It shouldn't have been close.
True.
There wasn't
That's
that much invested, and they had no ults. Like, that round should have been won cleanly, let alone losing it.
Yeah, Vong, you know, forcing out that res, being the thorn on their side. It kept them back, but imagine it coming down to such a narrow hair's width of a chance. It's soul crushing. The side of OG. They threw everything at a time. They put it all in, and now no ultis. The weapons are here to play with, but they've got to win 4 in a row. They've got to chain these together, and that first kill they found last round stopped Fokus from using their showstopper to confirm the round, stopped them from using it in post plant. That means it's still online here and now for one of the more important rounds. It's almost played against them.
Yeah, also, 1 away from overdrive, which I've never highlighted before, and I never will again. There you go. Not gonna matter. Showstopper will take out hype. That gives them the sight to an extent. Oh dear. Buha's little feet are sticking out through the gap, and it's looking pretty good for Feku in this scenario. Starting to really crush this push. He'll go down. Illuri has found another again. Things just start to crumble. Rolling Thunder going to force them back. That will give them the plant. Vong not in the greatest of positions. In fact, neither of the after plant spots are ideal. Might just try and smoke this off to give them at least an avenue to try and escape, but it hasn't worked. And now Illuri has to do it all. 2 kills already to get them back into this round. Can he seal it with another double? Standing behind a paper-thin wall, trying to just hide in the backlines, taking the elevated angle after being down below. It might not necessarily be expected. They're starting to clear everything. He's watched the cross. Jumping down here will have its issues, and Boo is going to make sure none of them arise.
That is the round they should have had a few minutes ago. 9 connected and on the board, 1 step closer to a res. Just 2 rounds later, they're 2 away from res. That is a fantastic sign of how strong Boo has been over these last couple of rounds. Up against pistols, sure, at times, but had a lot of slack to make up for. Fokus called this timeout. 12-9. Eco here. Buy up the next. Week buy for the final. Force up whatever you can. I mean, that's... the next round is their best chance to close it out. And to be honest, Tom, here, I think you almost have to do a little bit of maintenance. You got to make sure that OG don't end up running into next round with a res or something like that. Like, Boo literally getting an orb it could change the pacing of the entirety of the next round. And it's kind of scary because you're on Fracture. You can't stop him. Like, yeah, you can try, but there's 4 orbs here. This dude can get one if they really want it.
Especially with the way they've basically just been walling deep into like A main almost every single time. Like it's something that has been so easy. They've done the same in arcade. They've been doing the same on tree. Like there's been so much space that he's been able to garner. I think it sounds silly, but again, I'm just going to watch what Yugi can do here. Because I know that obviously the joke of last round highlighting it, but the last time he had this ult, he got 3 kills with it, which I don't know if this is just a pure disruption or the fact that he's been finding individual jewels a bit too easily just based off these fast-paced takes. But hey, if he can get 3 kills or even just a couple, that could be a difference between getting a gun and getting an afterplant and maybe actually stealing this round.
It's sounding like there are still dangers here for sure. And this man has been the danger man. He's been the difference maker, and he will be again with Destrian going down. A rifle to be retrieved. Looking for someone further away. He's already done his job. He's already found the one.
He'll have to get aggressive because otherwise it runs out. Like it will charge back up if he gets a kill, but otherwise he's straight back to nothing. So it either has to be just something incredibly aggressive. Oh, that must have been a last second to actually manage to retrieve his ult and keep it online that little bit longer. Vong on 1 HP has himself a gun, and he's actually going to hand it to Yugi instead.
They're going to play it all the way back, allowing them to take the space. The Rolling Thunder coming through. But here's where the fight needs to go their way. Yugi with a rifle in hand, and Boo shuts him down. Rez online for next round. I'm going to point towards the neural theft as well, 12 to 10. The full buy just got a little bit more complicated, Tom, because like they did get rid of the Rolling Thunder. At least that investment coming through, it was a necessity for OG to get the space back and close in on the site. But having that res back up and in, we've already seen it bring a player back towards like the retake. But having this for the early round could be huge. Watch Boo get 1 shot right away. Just 1 tapped. Through a smoke, probably.
Yeah, the ult's on the other side. Now, we have seen the Cosmic Divide actually utilized to take space onto that B site specifically to get them into an afterplant. So, although maybe not normally the most impactful ultimate, I think it definitely has its value on this map in particular. I will say as well, though, you've got the Molly potential. You could also have an aftershock, which could be utilized to deny. And with Destrian 1 away from an orbital strike, I hope he plays for an orb because that denial could be perfect.
Go get it.
There goes the boom bot. I don't know that's going to get some proper information, though. You can see that you've actually got Illury alongside Buha holding super passive outside of Dish. Fokus right now covering their bases, looking for any sort of aggression out of the side of OG and ensuring that they don't get the map control that they're most likely looking for. But eventually, Fokus are going to shift back. They're going to have to turn their focus towards a site. With 40 seconds left, it's going to be the B site they move towards.
Already, Vecchio's opened up. Boo just waiting on the edge here. As you said, he's got res, so being a bit more passive might have its value instead. Even still, though, they're being denied. Boo has found another. Yugi at least gets 1. Molly will be there to slow them down, and with the spike dropped, it becomes a lot tougher for the remainder. 35 HP. We're going the distance again, I think. I don't see any way to get back into this round with the amount of time that's left. And in fact, Boo has perfect timing. Again, the fight back from OG London United. Again, we go to all the rounds. The question is there enough for Fokus to decide this here? Or are we going into OT?
0.1 of a second, Tom, and this shoe could be on the other foot. But OG have got to push all the way to overtime. They've got to get us some extra rounds in there, Tom. Run that clock a little longer. Because they've put up one hell of a fight. Could already be there. Could have been there last map. A faster attempt by Yugi, but that stone was a little bit too shallow for him to get past. While posturing the boombots out. The Fokus are going for a little bit of control, like a little bit differently than we've seen from them before. Again, the exact same trap bars is very common to see these two going down. But they've shifted under. I think they want to fight B Heaven. The only thing is, if a breach was here, I'd be super excited because we haven't seen those like stun nades through as much. But I'd love to see. Do you remember when we saw the deep nades off the back of the grav wells up top? A round like this would just be so perfect for it. Let's hope they don't go charging into the judge.
Smoke's down.
I assume as well the boot probably has a weapon a little bit deeper. Oh, it's so free. It's as free as can be. And there you go. He's got his rifle just behind it in case anybody wants to try and pressure. The fact is, though, Yugi has managed to get a kill elsewhere. The A site, maybe a little bit more opened up. The problem, though, again, is just this clock is getting low. And I feel like after that point is where things are really starting to get rushed a bit for Focus. That spike's only just being rotated in. And more importantly, the defense is here. They are ready and waiting to try and just slow this down as much as possible. Stun already through. Destrian making a move in towards the smoke, and Hyper's dropped another. It looks like OT's on the cards, but Alluri again, he might have just saved them here. The run in from Veku, it could be everything. He's gonna drop the spike. It looks like it's already over. The single kill for Bua, but there just isn't enough time, and Bua is so far away. There is nothing he can do. OG London United. This game's so important for them in their fight for LCQ. And they're going to keep it going.
Wow. Losing out one round over the course of 7. And that was down to a 0.1 second defuse. Outside of that, they've been getting them done. Sure, some of these rounds have come close. Sure, some of these rounds didn't look like they'd be repeatable. But fact is, Tom, they've done it every single time. And for OG, they've earned a second shot at this, at closing it out. Overtimes where they do it attack side, where they're going to kick things off. Been quite a while since we've seen this happen.
32 kills.
Yeah, like he was 24 and 5 at one point.
Oh god.
He's been putting in some serious work, and you see now why we're kind of sat here. These days, we want to see the Yugi, especially on the Fracture. It's always so much fun. You want to see him pulling out the Neon. There's a lot of players out there, I think, that can capture that kind of performance. Neon's becoming a favorite of mine. I didn't think I'd like her at all as an agent when she first came out.
No, I think it was because everybody was looking at the speed aspect of it rather than the stuns, and I think the stuns are what make it exciting. I think also the other pieces of utility actually really do combine well with such an aggressive agent, and especially on this map, teams have found a lot of utilization for it. Minute left. Again, we see this build up around this B site. Stars, or at least a star ready around B main. Still the trips both up. This will give a lot of information, especially with their deep A control, but it seems like they're starting to rotate back the wrong way, and Bua, well, as I mentioned, the trips, never mind.
Boombot. It's gone past him. Got to move. He wants to stay out of sight, and well, his teammate's been tagged anyways.
30 seconds left.
30 seconds as the spike goes down. OG securing that. They want to try to get their way back out of the site. Get some post plans set up here. They've got plenty to work with. Smokes, final ones from Destrian now landing. That's actually perfect because they've gotten this. It conserves so many smokes now. These guys are going to have to just blitz through, and then there's a molly inside of it, just delaying them that little bit longer. You absolute lunatic. Your boy Lewis just went charging through the sky in towards Arcade. He's gone. He's down and out. Stun is huge. It's forced out Boo into the open. The other player a little bit further back. I don't know if they'll be able to get on this, though, to actually defuse. Just too many players to deal with. And so Hype on a 4K has secured 13-12 match and series point for OG.
The chance to guarantee themselves a slightly better placing. They would have beaten both Fokus and G2, so would place above both of them as well with the same score lines. And that's even if G2 were able to win. If not, they just beat them on the amount of wins they have. Still, though, Focus have been fighting. This is the unfortunate truth of this team. They're always close, but no cigar. Always the nearly team within this league. And I'm sure Zesh cheeks are as clenched as they could ever be right now, hoping that they can find an extra round.
What was it you said? 18-16 against BBL, 16-14 map 3 Liquid, and now we come here again. What a
that was
terrible...
Na'Vi.
Sorry, that was Na'Vi.
That's a different group.
Yeah. Flipping.
It's been a long day. It's been a long day.
It's been a 7-hour day. Yeah, it's been a girthy one. Oh, big play up top. Fokus coming out with 2 kills real quick, starting to storm the site, but Malsey steps it up, showstopper in, and might just have done it. Hillary's alone in a 1v2, but he's still got the spike, Tom, and he's hightailing it towards this B site.
His hairstyle making him more aerodynamic. He's gonna hastily move his way in towards that B site. Uh-oh. Well, they know, that's for sure, but we'll opt to play this one together. Still having a flash, a stun, a little bit of utility to play with. He actually uses it before his teammate's close.
He saw him.
Actually, yeah, falling back into a more passive position is not going to be easy. It needs to be instant shots, and it is! Illuri! Wow, one hell of a way to take them to 13-13. We keep on going.
Overtime.
There is just no end in sight to this game, Tom, is there? Round after round comes down to these clutch scenarios, to these incredibly tight plays, and Illuri popping heads, making it look easy, connects the extra OT, gets them to round number 27, and Fokus's dream is not over yet. This can still go their way, get that win on the board, and I guess just ruin OG's chances of going to LCQ, at least make them that much, make it that much more unlikely, I suppose. Obviously, Hype's the safety man. He's covering for anybody peeking. His teammates are supposed to destroy that boom bot, but they forgot.
No, he was just staring it down. I'm not afraid. It's just like it's a snake. If I don't break eye contact with it, it won't attack me. Unfortunately, it did. Did a little bit of damage to everybody. Mosey quickly into the site once again. Hype has found the opener though. He stepped up when it comes to this OT. Oh, timing. He still gets one, a second as well. Speaking of impact, he might have just brought this back.
He's given his teammates a chance, but still a ton of heavy lifting left to do. That wall is broken, so they can still get out through it.
Here.
See the wraparound from Illuri. The time's going to be a bit of an issue here. There's a gap on the left side for them to get through that wall, but they've been spammed down, taken out. Boo, dealing damage from the back, but it's a distraction play, allowing Malsey to come in from the side angle. Still got the back of pedestrian as well, and this seems impossible for Illuri. 2 quick headshots needed, none to be found. 14 for OGLU, or 1 away from closing this out.
Switching sides.
I've been there before. We'll attempt it again. Yugi not been able to find a kill yet when it comes to OT. I know that might seem surprising considering he has 32 of them, but it's the truth in this case. The question will be, can he find his form? Especially going into this attacking side, he's had so many rounds that were almost won by him and him alone. Thinking of the use of the overdrive or even just the fast-paced entries that he's found. Nonetheless, OG are the ones in the driver's seat as we float above.
Now Fokus doing something we've seen from them before, again, just doubling up, going for some of these duels, trying to take some of the control towards Dish and underneath. There's no aggression out of OG. It's a very patient team, and I think they've just spotted that wall inside of A main. It's been broken. It certainly does a fair deal to explain why these guys have been so passive, but with the wall broken, they want to try to push up, and that's when they spot one. Luckily, Illuri doesn't go down, because that would have been the spike on the floor, Tom.
Yeah, the thing is they're still going to have that disadvantage now. 45 seconds to try and find a way back, and look at the rotation. The defense looking to try and get there before any move can be made. Yugi looking to lead the charge once more. Taking his position through, but there's no one to be found. Not giving him that extra position. Mosey also just one away from the showstopper. We've seen the impact that has had throughout the map thus far. And Theku's also actually going to drop the player planting. This is all falling apart now. Yugi needs to go huge. He's spotting heads. Vong's found one. Yugi again! 3 kills from close range. This round was looking done. A 3v5 quickly diminishes into just 1. Hype to try and turn it on its head once again. He's even thinking about that rotation coming. They know where he is. Bonks him in the dirt.
Another round that just seems to have already
Overtime.
concluded. It seems like it's plain as day. You know what's going to happen. And Yugi, the man who you said hadn't really showed up in this OT, hadn't been able to do a whole lot, well, he certainly chose his time to step it up and get it done. 14-14. We go to round number 29. Fokus are no stranger to long series. But, you know, when it comes to some of the top teams, they were able to bring these 13-11, these close games, but then... hello? Boy Lewis has just taken it down into their spawn. Malsey hadn't got a clue what was going on. That's something else. You know, so seeing this guy play a confident game of Valorant, he's a different player.
That's a big player to take down as well. Slow move back towards this B site, cross spotted, but the smoke will deny them at least a little bit. Wall put in to allow them to cross. Your boy Lewis still in the corner, and actually Boo's been able to clear him, even get back across. Illuri does trade things back to keep that advantage strong, at least for now.
Obscuring vision.
Boo catches Vong, traded out immediately. Fokus still making their way forward, but look at the sneaky play from Destrian. Illuri's making all this noise. It seems like he suspects it for a moment. He thought about it. At that flank, but Destrian's patience is just a little bit too much. He's starting now to come all the way around. That stun catches at least the one player, but now the 1v1 for Illuri, and he wins it again. This guy's being clean. He's being clinical, and this time around, he will win the round for Fokus, putting them onto map and series point. We've had plenty of them so far, Tom. Maybe this will finally be it.
Switching sides.
Who
Match
knows?
point.
Someone out there, maybe, but not me. That's for sure. Again, it comes down to these attacking rounds. Yugi definitely closed the last one. I don't think there's any doubt about that. 3 kills for him. The only 3 kills he's had, keeping them in this map. And well, they might just rely on him once again. Again, it looks like there might be a little bit of aggression out from Malsey. You can see the stars already down, but it's almost set up as a bit of a ruse. Hype is going to be forced off just by the small bits of utility, but the rest of the team, they're almost just breaking that util that's been thrown out every single round. Wall straight away destroyed. Deep trips also removed completely. And actually, because of this, OG are going to opt to try and reclaim that ground.
Look at this aggression. Yeah, Yugi, he's heard a lot of it. He knows there's players close, but he's whiffed the shot. A big scalp for Hype to take. Destrian in with another. It seems like these teams, they just can't let go. Coming so close to closing it out again and again, but then the other steps it up as another frag for OG comes through. That spike not going to get near the site, not for now, as Buha looks elsewhere. This looks like we're set up for another OT, Tom. They just keep on coming here on Fracture.
Hype's even waiting. He's going to have all the information. He might be able to tag the guys he walks past. I think he will. Nope, the cam's going to be spotted. Nice shot from Illuri. There's small hope in this round, but we've seen crazier things happen. And in this map, and this map alone, Illuri going to get aggressive. The plant for him would have been more valuable. Oh, he's going to switch. Didn't expect a third player from there, but he's given Bura a chance. His aim has been crisp today. Hype is waiting, but he isolates the duel. A 2v5, just one man left. Bua's facing in the wrong direction, though, but he's going to switch it up. Maybe expecting someone to expect him to almost move deep, but Destrian will hold it down. Just 30 HP between Fokus and their first victory, but OG will keep it going, almost throwing it all away.
Man, this has come so close in all of these rounds. It's not just the fact that we end up in OT after OT, it's the fact that we keep on having these incredible clutches, these insanely close rounds that somehow players like Illuri step it up and make it a contentious one.
It was so close. And then the thing is as well, there's a million ways you could play this. I definitely don't mind Oh, okay. I think my brain's melted. It's finally happened. We were waiting, but all it took was 30 rounds of fracture.
All the games are merging into one. Like, that's what I mean. It all just blends. Beautiful. Focus. 2 kills, spike down in the open. There's already a player through, though. They weren't expecting it, not counting on Beku being so fast. But this breach, he's here to fight it, and he's gone down. A wall bang from your boy Lewis, leaving Hype to do it. A 1 versus 3. He's spraying away, and there's 2 players stampeding behind him. 16 found. Focus on the cusp of victory, but hell, we've been here time and time again. Let's wait and see how this round plays out.
Yeah, it's been an eternity at this point to say that we expect it to end here. Oh, I'm not going to believe in that just yet. I feel like Focus as well have had the last 3 attempts to actually close things out. But OG each time have managed to fight back. Of course, that spray being put down for Lothar's love of Reyna. They're going fast.
Halsey was ready. It's not my favorite of plays, just blitzing up that rope, I have to say. Not quite panned out this time. Looks like Yugi wants to lead the charge through, bullets whizzing past his head. That fast lane no longer in play. He's coming out into these duels, looking for them up in heaven. Good stun. Those players completely stunned up. They know as well that there's another up top. Yugi's just gotten 3. Malsey needs to recover this, and he's gone down as well. Destry and the last man standing. It's been a long road, Tom, but it looks like we finally hit the end of this journey. OG down in the dumps. This match meant it all. It could be VCT survival for them, but instead